Uh-oh. I'm hidden. Give me a second. Figure out what's going on here. What did I do? Oh, I see what I did. Okay. There I am. Howdy, everybody. I had myself covered up. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Enjoyed the ride with Aruba. Give them a few minutes to come in. And we can sit down and chat, spend some time together, figure out what's going on in the world and what's not going on. Oh, I didn't put it up there. And I'm slipping. I am slipping. Anybody that's on Facebook, you can join me by hitting the link above the videos. Sign in to StreamYard. It's not really actually a sign in, but you give them permission to put your comments up, and you can come right in on the panel if you'd like to from Facebook. Pretty easy, self-explanatory. Just have your phone ready. Turn your volume down on your feed, or turn your YouTube off because you can see it. Either way, come in and join us. Hi there, Aruba. Well, that was quick. Chaplain.
Here I am, Mo.
All here together.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to come in?
Having a good day today.
Yeah, it was. I found a new social thing called Mastodon, but it's clunky. It is terrible. I tried to put a picture on it, couldn't even get a picture on it. All you can do is chat. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to delete it.
Come in, my wife.
Didn't look good.
Come in and say hello to Carrie.
To who?
Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Tony. How you doing?
Oh, I'm okay, honey. How about you?
I'm doing good.
What?
I hit the 140 mark.
Oh,
all right.
Wahoo!
And like help Aruba out. Turn on an extra
These
device.
People have just been exemplary.
And
I
stream
gotta say that.
something of hers so she can get her time watched. That would probably be good for all of us. Everybody take turns and just let the videos run.
What message?
Yeah, it was very.
Were you awake during the whole thing, or did I put you to sleep?
Oh no, it was very nice. But how can you say you were a teenager when Ray grabbed you and brought you up there?
I can't remember when it was, but I know it was early on.
Mm-hmm.
No, he actually did do it when I was about 20 years old, now that I think about it.
Jeff, you and I were together.
No, this happened before we met. No, it wasn't 19. I'll take that back. He first put me up there. I'll have to correct that tomorrow, now that I think about it.
Yeah, it was about in 87, something like that.
No, it was earlier than that.
Yeah.
Much earlier.
I can't remember that far back.
We met in 85.
Yeah, and I was in the nursing home before that.
But I was with you when he did that. So
Here comes you all.
I have to go this way. Evening, everyone. Gentlemen.
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
Good evening.
Good
evening.
How you doing?
The story was correct, though.
So
yeah, I know I'm dark or whatever. I'm just in the back of the truck. So don't mind me. I'm just doing paperwork.
Because Ray couldn't be there.
One of the funnest parts of the job. Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone.
We were about 30 or so.
And when a president comes to Orlando, they shut everything down. They start.
President comes to Orlando. You could see this. You could see this instead. President comes to Orlando. You could see this.
Yeah.
That's what he could see. Yeah.
They really mess up the place because the
I
airport
really don't know what I want for dinner.
is
but
out
I
to
may
the west,
as well eat that up. Yeah.
and they mess up the Disney area and everything when they come in.
Wait a second. Is he actually coming to Orlando, or are you
I
mentioning a
don't know.
hypothetical?
I thought she said he flew into Orlando today. Is that true? I hadn't
This,
heard
you
it.
ain't welcome.
I haven't heard it. Was that true, Aruba?
Hmm.
Did I hear right, or was I
Here,
imagining?
Ruba, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I tried to ask you a question on there before you cut off. I wondered how your brother is doing. Robert, you asked me to pray for him. I haven't heard too much about that. And your daughter, of course, that's an unspoken request. And then Gator Girl is the other one I asked about, if there's been any progress on her. So if you would, please let me know about that.
And hello, Red Cactus. Glad to have you.
Cacti.
Well, hello, Red.
I'm sorry to say that, but you know, I figured you would correct me. I've been watching your
No, you're
shorts
fine.
today, U-Haul. Pretty good.
Oh, well, I try. I'm not always on it every day, but whenever I can.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So how
Thanks.
you doing, U-Haul?
Morning, sir. We're saying farewell to February, are we not? Is that what this live feed is about? We're saying sayonara to the coldest and
Sayonara
shortest month of the
February.
year, which happens to be Black History Month. So,
Yeah, they say that
Get rid
men
of
are right.
February.
I heard
February.
today that men are
March
right
is
3
spring.
days out of the year. We're right 3 days out of the year. That's February 29th, 30th, and 31st. Go figure, right?
It's
every
weird
4 years.
because one of my degrees is actually February 29th. As ironic as that is, it's actually printed on the degree.
Mm-hmm.
It was leap
Well,
year.
there is a February 29th every 4 years.
Yeah, it's a rarity.
Yeah, every 4 years. Yeah, we call Aruba, and you cacti, and
Well, I call it Ruby.
Ruby. Yeah, well, you
I'll
haul
just shorten the whole thing up and say ADG and it's over.
Yeah.
ADG. Yeah, there you go.
Dive girl.
Yeah.
Mm.
But anyway, I downloaded that Mastodon, and oh, it was bad. It was bad. So forget that social media. Plus, you have to conform to what Germany says.
Yeah.
If it's not legal in Germany, so yeah, that could be problems.
Yeah, I don't speak German.
That could be problems.
Just doing paperwork.
But anybody, I hope everybody's been watching Meg's videos on the J6ers.
He was at East Palestine, was he not? I thought he was there the same day Trump was.
Yeah, he was there. He was there when Trump was there. He come back coughing too. Wasn't so bad last night, but from those videos, I wish I had another monitor I could show the videos, but I can't show it like this because it'll go into like a tunnel vision.
Oh yeah,
So I have it set up now. But you can watch those fat cops standing around, their adrenaline flowing 90 miles an hour, not knowing. I guess it took over and they were acting like something big was going on and nobody was doing anything. And there they are, lobbing tear gas into a crowd that wasn't doing anything. But
that one blonde chick, I have it because I'm subscribed to Epoch Times. They have a documentary on it. And she showed up to the J6, and I always watch it through Glory Bee. And she had the blonde chick that was hit over the head with a baton over 40 times. So I'm surprised she's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it was. You could tell they didn't know what was going on, and they were doing their own thing, like there was no control whatsoever. So naturally, they're going to be afraid and think something bad's going to happen. So they were set up. Both sides were set up big time against each other. So that's what
They
I thought
wanted
of
to
it.
criminalize protestations at this point. Any type of dispute. Oh yeah, speaking of dispute or whatever, there's this one Rhino event going on in DC. It's called CSPAC or CPAC, whatever it's called. I just call it RhinoCon because it's just easier for me to remember.
Right.
Texas had something like that last year. They called it like the GOP convention. It's like the state GOP convention. I don't know. It was in Houston. And my thing is that they should have had it in Uvalde last year after the shooting. And but anyway, in DC, I think Glory Bee is going to be, or at least one of the things you'll notice. Well, I'll see if I can find anyone in there. I wonder if anyone from that RhinoCon convention is going to go to the J6 Vigil at all. I'm just curious because it's right in town. You know?
Mags is going. Mags is on.
No.
his way.
I'm talking about any of the attendees going to that. I don't know. It's just this lame excuse for people
Right.
dress up in their penguin suits and they look all nice and they
Right.
they have on the cologne and everything and they play dress up and then they sit down into these really long ass boring speeches that like I'm not into that kind of stuff. I think it's really boring. And in fact, actually coming on here, Mona was on right now and she was looking for well, not that I could go, but she was being an activist because she's on right now. She's asking for any truckers who may have like the time or whatever to actually loan their truck to haul supplies from Branson all the way. In Branson, I was at last year. Branson to East Palestine. There's not too many truck stops around East Palestine. I checked.
No.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of
Closest is
truck
Youngstown. Yeah.
stops. Youngstown, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't even think they have any in Canton.
I don't think so.
That I can
Closest one I
remember.
could think is Youngstown.
And probably north, maybe Cleveland. I don't know. I don't.
No,
go to
there's
Cleveland.
nothing. There's none around Believeland. Whoops. Fortunately.
Yeah, you had to go south towards West Virginia, Wheeling, that area. Yep. And like I was saying on Aruba's feed,
Sure.
in Ohio, all the rivers flow south. All the creeks, there's a lot of creeks through that area. And they, Soup Mama was showing it last night. The creeks.
Yeah, she was just on.
Under houses and under the city hall and the police department, and all those creeks go into the Muskegon River and flow south into the Ohio River
And the Mississippi.
and the Mississippi. And that down into the Gulf. So
Yeah.
who knows the long-term effects of it?
Well, we kind of had a sneak peek with the Deepwater Horizon in New Orleans when that leaked all summer.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I wonder how many saw the boy in. How about before we get to that? Everybody see the Oreo video of the lady, a 60-year-old woman in Knoxville? She went to the hospital. She was homeless.
Jeez.
The hospital turned her away.
Oh no.
The police came up and told her she had to leave. And she says, "I think I had a stroke. I can't move my foot. I can't stand up." And they forcibly picked her up, tried to put her in a paddy wagon.
Oh.
And she was asking for her inhaler.
Yeah, she had asthma.
And they would not help the poor woman.
Oh, God.
They tried to drag her into the paddy wagon. They couldn't get her in.
Ugh.
So they put her into the squad car and laid her down. Well, they finally found her inhaler and she used it. And she laid down in the police car. She was saying, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe."
Yeah, just like George Floyd.
Yeah, but she actually couldn't breathe. The cop took about 30 minutes to get her back to the station. Oh, well, after she got her inhaler, one of the cops asked her if she wanted a cigarette. I mean, they were very nasty and rude to her, you know.
Where was this at again? Say, where was this at?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Knoxville.
But
Bad. Very bad.
You have to watch the video because it is pure pathetic. They need to all be charged, the hospital and everybody. Because on the way, she went out, no response. And I imagine she died then because they said she died at the hospital. But I'm sure she died in the back of that squad car.
Yeah, that's like another. It's like another Freddie Gray then in Baltimore. Oh, that's terrible.
You know? But they
That's terrible.
treat our homeless and helpless like they're garbage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Memphis, right across the state, there was Tyree Nichols. So that I already watched them. They basically beat him to death. It made the LAPD and Rodney King back. That was the same year as the OJ chase. It made that look mild. That was a terrible year for Smog Angeles. As I call LA.
That's a good place. It's a good way to call it.
Yeah.
Well, no, Rodney King was back in the early 70s, though.
No. I'm talking about his beatdown. His beatdown was the same year as the OJ, the Bronco chase. It was 94. Yeah.
94.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was a lot earlier.
No, that was the mid 90s.
But anyway, this is the thing. These are the things that are going on. These are the things we need to correct, and talk about. Let people be aware of what's going on, because that's really sad.
Yeah, it's horrible. So I'm just adjusting. There we go.
There are so many things going on that it's just mind blowing.
I think Oklahoma was hit by storms, so they're in need of relief. I think.
Yeah.
It's a little too close for comfort with me.
Yeah, we tend to forget about natural disasters, but they're just as devastating, and can be dangerous, like spills and fires and you name it.
Yeah.
They could pollute just as bad, especially if it hits the right place. And we probably never know if there was something there.
Yeah.
Probably not know at all. But I'm hoping that Tucker Carlson will find a lot out on these videos. I mean, what we're seeing already is mind-blowing. How stupid things were. I thought it was mighty funny. It was kind of like fate that when they shot their tear gas off, the wind blew it right back in their face. And then they're saying, they got us. Which they might have really thought that the protesters were shooting tear gas. But
no, none of them were armed though.
No.
Not one.
Yeah.
And the tear gas was coming back in their face, and they're thinking the protesters are doing it, which is, you can kind of see it, because there was no direction being given whatsoever.
Well, 2 people already died. I forget the names. They always say them every night. The 2 guys who died already from the projectiles.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
The 2 guys, yeah, because there's 2 guys, 2 females. Yep.
Well, they're heavy. They hit the right place. They could do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I mean, you see people in that's been hit by them. They've got cuts and bruises and broken bones and you name it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, Cacti checking out a little bit.
Yeah, she had to go get her daughter.
I got you.
Probably.
I was worried about her daughter in that overturned semi because you would have thought that the fumes got to where she was going to school. That's kind of the concern that I had. Because you figure if she's only half an hour out, I said, man, that's within radius. I said, that's too close. You'd be 100 miles, that's too close. Because even if you look at East Palestine, I said, if you live in Pittsburgh, you're not safe.
No, they said within 100-mile radius.
Yeah.
In Arizona, did they say that was vinyl chloride, or what chemical was it that
Good question.
Because I don't know.
It's weird how all of this stuff's happening at the same time. It's like the Book of Revelation. It's like it's all falling apart all at once. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Everything's coming to pass.
Yeah. Well, it's not coming to pass. It's all crumbling apart. It's falling apart at the seams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There could be.
And that's the way it's described.
I'll get something to drink. That little bevy here.
And my wife was pretty upset when that old lady was put in that police car. She was talking about
jeez.
that half the night with me. How can they do things like that? So because they did.
Right.
Terrible.
People don't have the love in them that you and I have for each other or for the love of our fellow man and woman.
Yeah.
Just
They went
just
out
not
of
there.
They went out of their way to be crude and rude to her.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Terrible.
Intentionally harassing her.
Ugh, it's terrible.
These guys shouldn't have a uniform on. As a matter of fact, they should be in jail.
And
Well, the guys from Minneapolis are in jail, and he died.
Yeah.
That was from one dude. It was the other officers that were on lookout. They were nailed too.
Well, the district attorney said that their speech had nothing to do with her dying. No, their lack of treatment's what.
No,
Their lack of, yeah.
What matters is that a death occurred. It's like, is that? I mean, how does that make it any less worse?
They basically caused it by not getting her treatment.
Yeah.
And then there's a video this week here in Orlando. The murderer
Shooter?
here that killed the woman and then killed the 9-year-old girl, her mother, and the reporter. When they caught him, he pulled the George Floyd. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I thought he went back to the scene of the crime and then shot the reporter. So he went back
did.
twice.
He went back later, yeah.
Oh, why would you go back to the scene of the crime? It's like cops are going to be there.
I don't know.
At first they said there was no motive, but was there a motive?
I don't know.
I haven't heard one way or the other about that.
They said that the first killing had nothing to do with the second. I was thinking maybe it was a relative, but I guess it wasn't. They're not talking about it much here, like everything else.
Hush, hush.
It's weird.
Uh-oh. Sorry to hear that, Red. He knew the first victim? Yeah, he knew the first victim, but the second shooting, they said, had nothing to do with the first one. I guess it's just that the reporter was reporting it. I don't know. But he was apparently he was part of the, some kind of dread gang that wear their dreads a certain way, red, golden, I can't remember what they said.
Like the gang, the Bloods, like that kind of red.
Yep, it was red and gold, but they wore the dreads a certain way to be in this gang.
That's weird.
But, yeah, this stuff going on is crazy.
Yeah,
I was watching. I don't know. You probably heard of him. He had Sunday Night with Jamal, but he used to be Mind of Jamal. He used to be with Will Johnson.
Oh yeah, he used to be on InfoWars at night, and then he lasted very shortly. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. He's the one who got zapped at that LA convention. He got zapped.
Yeah,
you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, he said they should have put him out of his misery, and his whole feed was saying the same thing. Majority to black.
Yeah.
They should have done him in. I imagine it took a lot of restraint from the Orlando police to bring him in alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red, but it ain't fair. You should have Batteries go dead the least time you expect them to do it. It might not be the battery though. Could be something else.
Yeah, all this cold weather will mess up a battery big time.
It does. It does.
Especially
It
it goes from cold
connections
to hot.
everything.
Yeah, especially from cold to hot. It's the worst.
I got the same charger that they use at the dealership. I called and asked them. I said, which ones do they use? The one I have ain't cheap. Oh, just looking out there. Wonder if I have a place to park. Oh. So I'm just looking at the.
Fun to replace, and alternators are fun to replace when they go out.
Ooh, something shorting out.
Just so I could show you there. Hold on.
You,
See if I can do a show and tell, just to kind of show you.
Ooh, I remember those days when we showed and we told.
Show
right.
and tell.
Show and tell.
Yeah. Let's see if I could turn mine around. Whoops. Settings, camera. I think it's the back. I think it's that right there. I don't know if you can see it. There's like two trailers. And so I'm just wondering, I hope I have a way out. I think I should. But it's like a couple of guys just left their trailers in front of me. See, this is me right here. But it's like over here. Yeah, that's my CB antenna. There's like two. It looks farther than it actually is, but there's two trailers right there. I know, maybe it's hard to see. See, it's like there's
I
the
can
first
see
trailer.
it.
Yeah.
It's going to be tricky for you.
Yeah, I think they wanted to shop at Walmart, so these guys didn't want to bring their trailers with them. That's what they do. Or, yeah, it's weird. I just thought I'd show you guys
I'm trying to
that.
zoom it out.
No, it's. Oh, you want to see?
I was trying to, but I don't know how.
Red, check your connections on your battery
Nope, that didn't.
first.
Do the layout. Do the layout. Yeah.
Got to be either the battery or the alternator.
Or you click on my picture, do solo layout.
I did that. I clicked on your picture.
Solo layout.
No, let's see.
It's okay if it
No, I
doesn't work.
didn't do it. Huh. That didn't do it.
Pull that up. I want to see it.
Right again.
See the dog? All right, there's a dog over there. He was barking at me. It's okay. It's okay if you don't have it. Whoops. I'll just go back to.
Oh,
No,
I got it here.
Oh,
Here
okay. There we go.
Thing.
Yeah. So it's like there's the two trailers right there. So I guess the guys. I know that this truck stop's a mess. That's okay. Yeah, that's all bug. It's all bug or whatever. Whoops. And there's a dog next to me. No, he's like barking at everything. Yeah, so this is all bug. You could probably see it on the windshield. It's like all bug. I don't know if I could show you this dog over here. This is like a really overbearing dog. Hold on. He's barking at everything. Oh, yeah, he's coming
where
back
are
for
you?
it. Nah, I'm actually south of Cincinnati. Now, I know they love their football team out here now. Before they, I guess ever since Boomer Esiason, they really haven't been much of a winner. But all right, he's looking to get back. So I'm actually in Kentucky though. I'm actually not too far from Covington. Yeah,
Covington.
Yeah, well, south of Covington. Yeah, Covington is where those kids were picked on by the swamp there. That's terrible. Boy, was that awful. And surprisingly is that nobody stuck up for the kid. Can you imagine if that were a black kid? What would have happened? So, it's more preferential treatment, I guess. Okay, there we go. All right, that dog just went away. Whoops. Yeah.
Good to have you, Jason.
Hey, Jason.
Jason, what's up?
Maybe Jason wants to come on and tell us about his trip.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, come on,
Come on down.
Jason. Yeah. Oops, mic tilted. Don't wait for Jason.
Well, I had a near disaster today. My two
Uh-oh.
browsers were fighting against each other. I
Oh,
had to remove one of them.
Hmm.
Straightened right out. I wish these computer companies would let me decide which browser I want to go with instead of putting it on the hard drive before I get it.
Huh.
Maybe I'll have somebody build me one and tell them don't put anything in there until I say so.
We don't have many people in here now with children in school, but we need to clean our schools up for sure,
Oh yeah,
or get our kids out of the schools and start our own co-ops.
homeschool. Just homeschool.
It's
Yep.
so hard to teach your own children, so you really need like a co-op with people that have time to stay there and make sure the kids do their job, do their work, because you leave the room and they quit, just like a teacher going out of the room. So you have to keep your eyes on them, because kids are kids.
I would
And it's
teach
too
them the way that
expensive.
I was taught. Whoops, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I said I would teach you like the Amish. You could learn so much from the Amish. That's why a lot of these grocery markets, lives that I do are in grocery stores, because a lot of them
Mhm.
have an Amish theme. And so what they do is that instead of college, the kid learns to work with his hands, which builds
Right.
testosterone and also helps them build muscle. And so they become physically fit. And so they work in the fields. They know what it's like to milk a cow, pick crops. And I guess in my case, as a suburbanite, I always knew how to do yard work, landscaping, mowing the lawn. I always looked at riding lawnmowers as being lazy. I never used one.
Uh-huh.
I always thought they were too much. They're too expensive, so
well
I
they
always use a
are.
push mower. Yeah. And there were some parts I even used the push clipper. You know what I'm talking about? Like it wasn't even a motorized one. It
Me
was a
too.
push. Yep.
Season gas.
Yeah, my first lawnmower was the push rotary type, the big round blade that went around and around in the front.
That's what I used.
And yeah, that would build you up.
Yeah.
And then
I had
bail
a,
in hand in the summer.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
always
you're
had an
right.
Indian oil stone to sharpen those blades on that push mower.
Hmm.
The one that you didn't have a motor on, that kind of you just push. And
Pushing it goes round and
I
round.
did that for a long time. Why don't you use the lawnmower? It'd be quicker. I says, no more quicker than I'm walking behind this one.
Hmm.
I always shoveled snow. I never did the snow machine. I always shoveled
No,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
shoveled it. Well,
Yeah.
we had a small tractor. We put a plow in front of it,
Yeah. There you go.
plow the driveway.
Mm.
But the shoveling, like the porch and the walks and stuff, that was all by hand.
Mm.
A lot of fun.
If I had about 5-10 acres of land, I'd definitely have a tractor on there.
But
You grow your own
Oh, yeah.
chickens.
The majority of the people now and kids don't know what lawn mowing is. Most of them
Lot
have
of
landscape.
Lawn what?
Yeah. A lot of the kids these days think that eggs come from the grocery store.
Hmm. Yep. Well, even
I
some of our
worked on a
representatives.
chicken farm for 5 years.
Yeah.
They don't come from the store.
Yeah, they're a
Yeah.
lost art.
Even our
That's kinda
representative, look at AOC. She thinks that too.
Oh, good God. Yeah, she wonder how come she's not in East Palestine, because it is an environmental disaster. I mean, you'd think.
They know better.
Yeah, maybe it's too
They
far.
No, they know not to go there.
Well, she's the same one that will tell you not to eat anything made from a cow, but she'll
Oh.
go around. She'll go behind your back
Fly
and
jet.
make macaroni and cheese while she's talking to you on the video.
Right. Well,
I
that didn't
thought
come from here. No, that
You're,
comes, that
you're
comes from a
lecturing
box.
us on cows, and what are you
I
eating?
thought it was like I thought that was like that's like powdered stuff, the one in the packet. You might as well take
but still,
yeah. Might as well just take a block of cheese and then with a cheese grater.
that's the way we do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing out of the
Yeah.
box.
Yep.
No way.
Or what I do, and I do this
Hi,
with
Andy, how
chocolate.
you doing?
Yeah, I take
saw
one of
you
those
earlier.
blocks of cheese and then I just hold a match up to it and then I just melt it.
We're talking in generalities right now. So if anybody has a question, let us know. We'll try to talk about it. There's so many things going on in this cruel world that, boy, it's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Can't keep up with it.
Let me see what's going on in the chat. Hey, Annie. Yeah, we're just. I think Carrie put this live feed on so we could say sayonara to the coldest and shortest month of the year. Good riddance.
Yeah.
Yep. Get rid of
Yeah.
February
March.
and March and
Yeah.
spring. That would be nice.
Well, it's nice in Florida. The rest of the country needs to warm up.
Now, I think it's nice out in Cali and Hawaii, but you know, they're really blue states.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go there.
Yeah, Hawaii's expensive. Get something to drink. Get my water. Just have some water. Glad I got that.
Yeah, we need to get our we need to somehow get people involved in with their children and start co-ops. You know, few families together, take turns teaching the children, and they learn a lot more. They'd learn probably 100 times more than they're learning in school. Just like we were saying the other day that they don't have to pass anything in school. They just push them along. Nobody left behind mentality.
I remember one of the few classes I remember learning stuff in high school was workshop, home ec, driver's ed. And you know, I thought about this one thing too. This might sound kind of controversial or unethical. I thought one thing you should really teach kids is concealed carry. At least then they know how to handle it.
Right.
It's what the NRA I thought the Boy Scouts about. Now Boy Scouts are about passing out condoms during jamborees. So
right.
Yeah, it's pretty disturbing stuff. Yeah.
Lawyers always check your connections.
Well, they used to teach with other things like bow and arrow and knives and stuff like that. You know, teach them at least part of the responsibility of weapons. You know.
I remember back when we used to fish, we would actually grill the fish right there on site. So we'd learn how to gut a fish. We'd learn how to actually Yep.
Yeah, that's what they weren't they earned their badges that way.
Yep.
But they don't do that anymore. Don't
I think the last fish I ever caught was a rainbow trout. And the time before that was a catfish, but it had bruises on it, which kind of makes me think it was a catch and toss. Yeah. But
well, believe it or not, growing up in Ohio, we always took our rifles to school on first day of hunting. The only thing is we had to have our license. We brought our rifles in, and when I think hunting started at noon, they let us go if we had our hunting license. You don't hear that no more.
Well, you see that stuff in the inner cities, but they don't have the licenses.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they got pistols. They got Glocks instead of rifles.
Right.
Oh,
They
okay.
conceal.
Yeah. They got their 57s on them.
Right. But we actually took them to school and got out when it started. I think it started at noon.
I remember
And
at Cabela's they did shooting class. They did shooting class. Yeah. Or is it Bass Pro Shop? I forget.
hmm
Yeah.
Of course, we had the archery and all that. I think they still have archery.
No, but I'm
I
saying that you
believe.
should teach you should teach concealed carry so they know how to handle it. So they actually
Yeah.
know what to do when they yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I know what you're saying, and
Yeah.
that's true. Everybody
Yeah.
should know how to handle a weapon. Everybody. And I was
Mhm.
taught.
I agree with
I was
that.
taught, and how to carry a rifle or how to carry a pistol. Not aim it at people or
If she gets the message, I just would love to know.
that was one of those things in the video that Max pointed out. That one cop coming down the hall with the light on the end of his pistol, he was waving it everywhere. And he should know better than that. I don't care what was going on. He should know better than run down the Capitol halls with a pistol showing everywhere. Our country is going to pot. I mean, literally, both kinds.
Hey Carrie, can you post the link back up again in case Jason might want to come on, just to give him the invite?
Okay.
Because I don't know if he scrolled
Okay,
up the page or what have you. Yeah. Just plug in the link there.
Or anybody that wants to come in the studio right now, it'd
Anybody
be
wants to
great.
come in? Come on in.
So we could all say farewell February all together in unison.
All together. Say goodbye, February. February.
February.
Sure.
Another thing they need to teach. Another thing they need to teach is finance and taxes.
Yep.
I think that was economics. Yeah, that was economics. Knowing how to do a 1040. Yep.
Right, but they
Yeah.
don't really cover it thoroughly. All that I've been in, or how to make money if you don't go to college. We used to
But
have
I'll,
the
yeah.
vocational schools, but I don't think there's any vocational schools anymore.
I remember speaking of vocational, it's like teaching a kid how to be an electrician, teaching a kid
Right.
how to, being a plumber, being an auto mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else is there. I guess in my case was landscaping, so I was more of your outdoor glorified gardener or whatever, It's
Uh-huh.
just. But you had,
Well, let me-
I remember what's that when Bloomberg tried running for president, that stupid idiot, is that he's like, yeah, being a farmer's not so hard. All you need to do is find land and then dig a hole in it and then plant something in it. I said, boy, is this guy from New York?
No, it don't work that way. There's all kinds of things you have to do. Yeah,
Well,
my
you have
brother
to
was a
understand the pH level of the soil. You have to understand climate. You have to understand what is that? The differences between sparkling. What's that? The differences of water. The
Right.
differences between spring, distilled, spring, yep, tap, things like
all
that.
the minerals in it,
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah, it's
hmm
there's a lot goes
Yeah.
into landscaping. It's like my youngest brother. He started out with a push mower, and he built him a landscaping company, and got it going real good, and hired guys, and
Yeah.
kept it going. Then he started a nursery out there near where Aruba lives.
Yeah.
Had a big nursery, 5 acres. Now he's retired. He's in his. I think he just turned 60.
Teenager.
Pretty close, yeah. Pretty close, but he's redoing homes and selling them. Coming back and forth between Tennessee and Florida. He's in Florida during the winter and then goes back up to Tennessee during the summer.
That's just right up 75. Yeah, that's right up 75. Then that has to be the only way he could get there. That's the Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
Yeah,
Chattanooga.
that's where you have to be.
It's been part of my honeymoon there.
Yeah, for the girls, they had nursing and beauticians and hairdressing and restaurant stuff.
No, no,
Well,
no. I
even
remember with females, it was about cooking and being a seamstress, which was
Right.
good too because they knew how to actually sew their own clothes.
But the
And they knew
vocational schools had more training in vocations.
And for us guys, we learned how to wrestle. They would learn acrobat. So they would learn how to be flexible. They'd learn how to do cartwheels. They'd learn, all that stuff to be flexible and dexterous. It's like we guys, so yeah, we wrestled each other because we actually like taught each other how to fight, taught each other how to take each other down. Because it's hard to play football on defense if you don't know how to tackle. So
Right.
if you're into sports, if you're not into sports, I won't. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we learned all that. We did the fireman's carry up a set of stairs where we'd have to carry someone on our shoulders. We'd have to learn that too. Yeah, it was our physical test. So
You're right, Jason. The IT and electronics, they had that too, which was very good. IT and electronics is the up and coming thing. I mean, not up and coming. It's here, but it's going to really advance.
Well, that's what auto mechanics are now these days. Is that they're all software engineers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty
You
much
have to know the
these
electronics.
days.
Yeah.
You have to know the
Diagnostic
electronics.
technician.
Yeah.
But we're not teaching our kids. We're not doing it. They can live off the government's dime, and they do what the government tells them to do. We need to get back to where we were and wake everybody up somehow. I think I would hate to say a number, but there's a big percentage that don't really want to understand or do anything about it. Because they're not up against it. They got a cushy handout. They're getting money every month from the government. They're getting their food stamps, their rent paid. So why would they turn on that and give it up?
Well, when they interview these college people and they ask them who is the president of the United States, the vice president of the United States, sometimes they can't answer it.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. How can you not know who's running the country?
Well, you know that Obama didn't know how many states we had when he first started.
57, right?
57.
I think he was counting the was it like Puerto Rico and Guam, and he was counting those places too. So I'll give him a pass on that.
He looked at Pines 57 ball and thought that was the right answer.
Right.
I think he was counting the like the U.S. Virgin Islands. He was counting, yeah, he was counting like Puerto Rico. Yeah, he was including all those. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, there was there was somebody on the other day. They were asking teens and in their 20s how many months was in a year and how many days were in a year and what does a year start with, and half of them didn't know.
Jeez.
And then when it comes to Civil War, Revolutionary War, or anything else, they were dead in the water.
I think most are dead in the water knowing who their own U.S. senators are in their own state. We could go that simple. Yeah, we go that simple. And then I usually test people by asking them, who's your congressman? So I said that before. Yeah. To me, it's kind of like a political litmus test. It's like I need to know how far into politics you actually know what you talk about or know, period. So I usually go that simple, then I go further. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Red. That's what I do with my granddaughters. I teach them
Oops.
what I can, or at least talk to them about it, and apparently they know. Apparently they know.
Uh-oh.
But they are they're dumbing down our
Here.
children big time, and trying to push the agenda of the rainbow and the transgender and all the garbage that's out there. They're pushing it more than they are education.
Hmm.
It's just so sad, you know.
Well,
And the
it's
kids,
education. It's education on how to get a sex change when you're 5, and so that's really disturbing stuff.
yeah, they think it's no. I don't. They think it's no big deal, you know that, and they keep the kids confused and they question, you know.
Ruby, you are
There's
so
days where
correct.
they're going to question it all
Hmm.
and think, well, maybe I'm that way because I don't like boys, you know, or I don't like girls, you know, male or female.
I
And
remember the Girl Scouts taught they at least taught girls how to be saleswomen because of how to sell cookies. It at
uh,
least taught them like a bit of a sales acumen to them because it would teach them how to hustle, not grift, but hustle. So it's like they found different ways of how to sell product. And
right,
I'm not
yeah,
saying that all women are made to be Mary Kay or whatever
right.
else is out there. But yeah, I'm trying to think. There was someone else out there too. I think Mary Kay is the one that comes to mind. But I remember, yeah, the Girl Scouts, because the Boy Scouts really never had to sell cookies,
Right.
and so I think what happened is that the Me Too movement, I think, might have hijacked the Girl Scouts. Unfortunately,
Hmm. Yeah,
jeez.
I even tried selling the Herbalife.
Uh,
You remember that?
I
Now
Yeah.
it's
think
Yeah,
all
so. Was that if that was the powdered stuff? I think that kind of rings a bell.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Powder vitamins and stuff. All your vitamins. Some of it was pretty good,
I
but
don't
now I
mind the
guess
multi. Yeah, yeah.
now it's
Go
all
ahead.
in the Latino. Now Herbalife is in the Latino community.
Hmm.
I
I
saw it not too
Yeah,
long
because I
ago.
remember Flintstones vitamins growing up. That and was it Toto? Toto was like the healthiest cereal, but it was still like packaged in a box and plastic. And
Right? Yeah,
we
yeah.
were taught that Toto's like the best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, man, this is the healthiest cereal you could ever eat. It's got gluten
Hmm.
in it.
Gluten and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I ate a lot of Total, a lot of Special K.
Well, you knew Toto didn't wasn't sugar coated. You're like, well, this isn't like its Frosted Flakes counterpart. Like,
Uh,
well, yeah. You saw it on the box. You're like, well, it's got to be like the least unhealthy of healthiest of them all. So it's like, all right. So it's that blue box. And then you had like Raisin Bran. That stuff was like covered and smothered in sugar and raisins. It's like
sugar and
you ate it
raisins.
for the taste.
Yeah, I love the Raisin Bran.
Yeah. Mine
yeah,
was corn pops, not because of Joe Biden, but it was because like it was just popcorn. It's like
Yeah,
popcorn in milk.
but you never could fill up on it.
Nah. Nah.
You
Yeah.
had to eat 2 or 3 bowls to get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To get to where you need to be, right?
where'd this box of cereal go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always the Quaker guy, the oatmeal,
Oatmeal. Yeah.
yeah, but oatmeal, I guess I couldn't see you eating that in like July. I'd be like, yeah, it's too hot. It's too hot outside to
That-
want to want oatmeal.
yeah, that's one of the problems with oatmeal. More the warmer weather, but I
It's
eat
winter.
oatmeal all the time
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's good for you, cholesterol
yeah,
and everything else. One of the best.
yeah. Lucky Charms. Haha, that's funny. Yeah, I'd always just go straight for the marshmallows. I'd be like, yeah, nuts to the rest of this. So I would just cherry pick it, just nitpick out the marshmallows. That's what Jason's saying. Pre-trib.
Always went for race checks. Always liked that best.
You could almost eat that as a snack. Chex Mix.
Yep.
Mm.
I spent an entire day making the Chex Mix with the nuts and everything.
Cin-
All nuts and the
Quaker
bolts and all
cinnamon.
that.
Cinnamon spice. I like the apple too. Quaker oatmeal with the apple and the cinnamon spice. That's my favorite. Brown sugar. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Yeah, and the stuff they put in our foods, we don't know what we're putting in our body. All these prepared meals and everything.
It's box
Some
on
of
the
it.
shelf.
Anything in the box can't be good.
Well, it's been sitting on the shelf for weeks on end. I'm like, oh, this stuff looks fresh.
Yeah. I was reading an article on Yahoo News today. It's talking about expiration dates.
Yeah.
People throwing it away right on the date and wasting it.
Unless I see mold, I still go for it.
Right. Well, the other day I grabbed a croissant and they had mold on it. And I ate half of it.
Oh, yeah. You throw that out. Yeah, you throw that out. Yeah, you can't get over that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, maybe I should look this up or whatever, but all these horror stories at the grocery store, like if you go to the bakery aisle and you see a slice of cake for sale, it means it came from an unfinished cake and they just sliced it off and they're selling it
Right.
individually. Yeah.
Or they damaged one side or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you could say that with pizzas, that like it was a returned pizza and they just like section it off like quarterlies.
Right.
The ones
Yeah.
that sell for $1.50 and a half.
Unless it's a really big slice. Yeah. I remember I had a really big slice of pizza. It was so terrible. I'd be like, now I know why you guys sell this individually.
Never buy half a cake. Right.
Yeah. Never buy a cake slice because that's just off an unfinished cake and they just cut it, they section it off and then they sell it. They repackage it.
Jason, Kraft macaroni and cheese was a staple way before ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Love macaroni and cheese, especially with shells.
Yeah. In Jason's case, yeah, I wouldn't do the easy mac because if I did the regular mac and cheese, I think I feel more productive. If it's easy mac, it feels like I'm cutting corners. So I figured I'll just go with the regular.
I like the creamy cheese rather than the powdered cheese. I won't buy the powdered stuff.
The powdered stuff's already in the
What
box.
it is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not cheese.
Yeah, that's something. It's like astronaut. It's something that the astronauts pack in NASA or SpaceX.
Yeah.
This truck, I'm stuck
in.
You wash it off. You drop it. That's what my mom always did.
Were you talking about cake or pizza?
So
I would just brush it off. Yeah, if it falls on the bottom, I just brush it off.
Yeah. 5 second rule.
Yeah. I keep eating it. Yeah.
Rule,
Yeah.
Well, it depends on where it lands.
It's done.
Never buy half a cake. Yeah. I remember when the grocery stores used to sell coffee cake. I think that's extinct. You don't find them around anymore.
Not very often, no. They might have forgotten how to make those.
I think they're extinct. They're extinct like the arcade or the bowling alley. I know they're still around, but few and far in between. I've looked up bowling alleys, but I think they're all family themed, just like Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Some are, some aren't.
Yeah.
Well, down here they're like tourist attractions.
No, but I mean like a roller rink where you could just go in there and start skating. I think they're all, they're all for like birthday parties, so they're all.
Not really. Down here we have quite a few. Quite a few here. I take the girls. Well, Labor Day 2 years ago, I fractured my hip trying to skate with them.
Oh, geez.
I thought one of them was going to fall and went to grab her and skate locked up.
Oh, geez.
Boom.
Dang.
That was no fun.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting back on it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'll do this year for my bucket list again.
Yeah, it's hard finding a roller rink. And I figured when Sports Authority went out of business, I say, dang, where do I find roller skates now? Because I, I I don't go to any of the big box stores for roller blades or roller skates. So I figured, where do you go? I mean, would I go to Dick's? I don't know if Dick's is like the only place left now, which kind of
Well,
stinks.
some have pro shops right there at the roller rink.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think that would be the best place to get it.
Yeah.
Right. Or there's
It's like
always
bowling
Amazon.
ice, with bowling balls and shoes.
Yeah, you don't buy shoes from sporting goods stores. You get them at the center.
Bowling,
That's
no,
how
I'd never go to a sporting goods store for bowling equipment.
No,
Always at a
no,
pro
they're
shop.
mixed up
every
every time.
time. I can get a lot better deals there.
Yeah. And company sponsors most of them. Your AMC and Brunswick and all that.
This 4-ball bowling bag that I got in here in my room right now went for about $265. I got it for about $140.
Uh-huh.
I says,
Good deal.
wife, give me money. I can't buy this bag. You gonna
Yeah,
get
I
it cheap like this anywhere else?
I used to make quite a bit of money bowling with Nassaus and stuff.
Me too.
I remember back in the day when people had this thing called bowling leagues, and I don't know if people still have leagues anymore. It's if they just
Oh yeah.
if it's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
people now, if it's the same group now who does the Texas Hold'em League, so now they go maybe to the sports bar. I don't know where they do this, and they play cards. So they still do the league or whatever, but it's like this Texas Hold'em League. So now they just play. There's like poker tournaments locally, and I guess I mean
Get on there either.
I'm not much of a card player or billiards or whatever,
It's
so
part
I'm
of
just
my
I mean,
message.
Well, it
and
makes no
Yeah.
really makes no sense.
it's part of my message for today, dear. That's why I put that on there.
But it doesn't make any sense. You offended Marv.
skate shop.
I thought maybe it was just a nice picture of a beautiful monkey.
Big Five. Or is it Academy Sports? Italian. I almost did a delivery out your way to Academy Sports,
I didn't
and
mean
I don't even know what Academy Sports does, but you got something like that out there.
I said it was part of my message today, dear. I even explained.
Didn't when you put the monkey on.
Yeah, I inadvertently hit that. I never took it off because I didn't have
And
time.
Boo is popular down here
Maybe you should
in Florida.
Darts. Darts. I thought you do at a dive bar or something.
Well, they have it in bars, but
Yeah.
I guess some of them are dives.
And I tell you,
Yeah.
people have all kinds of sensitivity problems out there, and this is one of those. This is one of these times when somebody
But you
sees something on the internet and takes it exactly the way it is meant.
I guess if you just want to do it, you just go to a dive bar, throw some darts. But a lot of them are pretty serious
I
about it.
couldn't figure it out either.
They have all kinds of teams and stuff.
I've seen it before. I mean, I don't know how they. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out of where you'd find them. Yeah, maybe they are at a bar, or instead of billiards or whatever, it's like they have the poker tournaments.
Yeah, most.
Yeah.
Right. There are a few pool halls left, and they have usually have darts with the pool hall.
Yeah.
There used to
I
be a
remember
big
when
one
hotels. I
downtown.
remember when hotels used to have them on the first floor. They used to have them there. I don't know what they do with them
Right.
now. They probably have the piano player there or something. It was back in the day when he played instruments, I think I played the violin back in the day. I don't know. Just thinking.
Yeah, our hospital in Ocoee had a piano player in there. The grand piano would
Hmm.
play most of the day. I guess they
Cool.
last time I was there, it wasn't there, so I guess they got rid of it.
In the comments there.
Play it while the people were going down to the cafeteria to get their lunch.
I remember some hospitals even had McDonald's inside of them. I'd be like, oh, that's a quick trip.
Uh,
Yeah. Right to the coronary place after they had their Big Mac.
a lot of
No,
lot-
Italian, it's called Academy Sports. I don't know what they sell there. I don't know if it's like one of those play with me again or play it again sports.
yeah,
I don't know.
they just opened one in St. Pete here a while back. Academy
Yeah.
Sports.
Hmm.
They
I
were
have
giving
no
away all
idea.
kinds of stuff on their grand opening.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, I remember back in the days as kids or whatever. I think we tried taking instrument classes. I forget. It was back when we actually like learned to play music. But I guess the iPod kind of killed that off. Whatever
Yeah.
those are anymore. The iPod, if they're even still around anymore.
Yeah, I was giving my karaoke thing a look over yesterday, and I found a karaoke place that would take the key down.
Or
When they took the key down, they made the boy. They didn't take the voice out. They let the voice in. It was going, oh, no, oh, no. This won't work. This won't work.
Yeah.
I think we ought to have one of them. Where everybody hook up to their own karaoke song and play it on their phone like we are now. You could do that. Just play it in your background.
Come out with a karaoke app. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think TikTok is already that way somewhat, but that's a Chinese spyware. So
Right.
I don't trust TikTok. Yeah.
I don't either.
That's why I use Shorts.
The recorder, yeah. Woo! They drive you nuts. Woo, 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 woo. Most everybody played the recorder.
We'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Be right back.
Yeah, the recorder was a lot of fun. We had the kazoo when I was a kid.
The record. The record. Okay, that's the flute. I thought you meant recorder as in the tape recorder where it would. You put the cassette thing in there, and then it had the pull handle. I thought that was the recorder that you were talking about. Where you had the red circle for record, then you had to push that with the play. All right, that's when I heard recorder. I said, "Is that the cassette deck thing, the little mini cassette thing?" And it had the pull handle on it. That's what I thought when I heard recorder. I was like, "Oh, cassette deck, cassette tapes."
Before that, the reel to reel. Yeah. 8-track didn't last long.
Neither did the laser disc.
No.
Yeah.
The laser disc was, I think it was actually before its time. Yeah.
No, I think the compact. No, Blu-ray. Blu-ray, I think, took that over. Yeah.
Do you see Italians comment?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right, I got you. All right, you know what I meant there, Italian. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Yep. And he's back.
I put one picture on the internet of a baboon, and automatically
Oh,
I'm
I saw
labeled a racist.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, wait a second. So what about Grease Monkey? Didn't Grease Monkey take over Jiffy Lube? So what am I supposed to call it then? Jiffy Lube still? Remember the oil change place?
Yeah,
Aren't they
I know.
called
The
Grease
thing is,
Monkey?
I put it on there because it was part of my message today,
Mm.
and I just said a baboon,
Right.
and this one guy got on there. It doesn't make any sense. I said, well, maybe I should have explained it better. It's a picture. I had to talk to him like a kindergartner. I says, well, it's a beautiful picture of a beautiful animal called a baboon.
Mm-hmm.
It is not meant to be offensive or in any way insensitive to anyone. Boom, end of discussion. I just threw it right back at him. I said, don't sit there and call me something I'm not.
Now, people want to accuse you for whatever they need to accuse you of to make them look good. Unfortunately, I mean it stinks, but that's sort of where we are. See, I'm looking for something to drink. Sorry.
So,
I'm tired of this
you know,
insensitivity crap that's going on right now. It's just it's tapping on my last nerve.
Yeah.
we used to call each other all kinds of names when I was growing up, and it never offended anybody. You know,
Yeah.
Never offended a person. You know, whether you were Italian or Mexican or Canadian or whatever, wherever you were from, we always had a nickname.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to make fun of Italian.
And it didn't.
Yeah, especially when there's
Well,
one in
not-
the chat room
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
Not
that's what I
now.
mean.
Don't do
Yeah.
that.
now, yeah.
Yeah, she's pissy.
Yeah, my cousins are all Italian.
I haven't been to the Olive Garden since I think was it September of 03? So it's been wow, it's been a couple decades. I'm a deprived child.
Wokeness.
Yeah. Unlimited breadsticks. Wow, that's good enough to get me through the doors. Woo.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
good.
That's just a
No, I feel sorry for the baker who's got to go back there and feed me all that gluten or all that unlimited bread.
You know,
Oof.
but really though, with their prices, they make a fortune on what they sell.
Today.
I always thought with Old Country Buffet they make their money off the drinks. Because I mean, if you're gonna go there, you might. Well, in my case, you just make an all day of it in order to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
But I think they're all dead. No, Golden Corral I think didn't take them over, but I think Golden Corral is what's that? The only king in town, I guess, because I don't think Old Country Buffet exists.
right. Yeah, Golden Corrals. They closed a lot of them, but they're still around.
Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Sorry, I'm gonna mute myself. Yeah, I had to sneeze. Okay.
Oh, I missed what was going on in the chat.
Bless you.
Two trains collide in Greece. Oh, that's not good.
Oh no, they slip.
I don't know, but it's part of the infrastructure too, which is why, whoops, my Golden Corral closed. So that sucks. YouTube by choice.
Oh, the one in Winter Garden.
Wonder where the guinea part comes from. All right, I'm just scrolling back in the chat. All right. Yeah.
Who?
Guinea pig or guinea something or other. Such cute animals. So,
There you go, Italian. That's what counts.
what? Never abandoning your heritage? Yeah.
Claremont. Okay.
It's a sugar drink. Yeah.
The beautiful thing
I have-
about learning other people's cultures and ways is what makes this world go around. And the sooner people find out about each other instead of not being scared or insensitive to people who happen to be of a different culture, needs to take a look at the Bible
Right.
because we all came from somewhere.
And there's people out there that shouldn't be offended by a picture of a baboon and a loser cool.
It's
Well,
a derogatory
this
name,
guy,
but
to
he
know
wasn't.
this
He was.
guy, to know this guy, he's been trying to trap me into me being another white person that's racist. And I keep backing him down. I said, no, try again.
Well, here's a question I have for you, Chaplain, too, is that are white people the only racists out there? I thought there's some
No.
white people out there who don't get along with other white people.
No. There are more than you think.
I always tell that to white people who like yelling at other white people. I say, do all you people get along? I said, there's white people who don't get along with other white people. That's it's human nature, I guess, if you want to call it that. But
Well, hate is
yeah.
a tool that the devil uses to divide God's people.
Oh.
I just thought that was a beautiful picture of a wild animal in the wild. They took a picture of it. It's a baboon. Beautiful creature. And the story was about
Nice
a
red
baboon that helped this person run the railroad because he couldn't do it. The things that he didn't have no legs or anything.
I don't know if the railroads have been updated since World War II. I mean, if you look at some of these railroads, or at least sometimes I do, some of them look like they haven't been updated for decades, which is probably true. Oh, that's as far as like infrastructure updating. Yeah.
When they built the Sun Rail here in Orlando, they put really long rails in. They had to bring them in on special trucks because they were, I don't know, they were good. They were a lot longer than regular rails. And they put all with new wood down and everything for the tracks. It was something watching them put that in. They bring their little vehicle cup up, that lines the track up and puts the tie underneath and all in one move. It was something watching them put that new rail in here. I guess that's so it won't derail because it'd be less places for it to disconnect. And
I remember. Yeah. Oops, sorry.
That's all right. It wasn't just regular, not regular nails, but they had special hold downs for them
This looks like I'm in between.
on the ties.
I remember there's a really big rail yard there in Jacksonville. And it's because Miami isn't known for like truck traffic because there's not many truck stops down there anyway, except for the 585, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not about to, whoops, there goes my phone. And I'm not going to pay $25 just to park there overnight. So no. But what happens, speaking of railroad infrastructure, keeps falling down. All right, I got it. Be like, woo! It's almost like my gimbal. Let me fix this. It's up here. Be like, oh. Okay. No, if you in Jacksonville, there's this huge rail yard that it's basically the entry point in for any freight going to Miami. Yeah, I know I have my big reflectors right here. So, what is that? So everything gets railed to Miami from Jacksonville. And it's this really, really big rail yard. And as far as the Florida infrastructure and everything, I think they've done a pretty good job. Because I actually went to the seaport there in Panama City, and it's really one of these undiscovered, well-kept secrets, well, at least for now. And that's already on the Panhandle side, but what's weird is that I think I was actually picking up imported Mexican freight, which is kind of weird. Because you would have thought, well, isn't everything coming in from Laredo, Texas? Which is actually it's actually, I think, the biggest, at least inland ports. Because we have Houston. But if you ever go to Jacksonville and, it's this really, really massive rail yard or whatever, it's like, that's how Miami gets its freight, at least.
It's right off
rail wise.
95 going to
Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's
And
big.
they're going to start the Orlando to Miami rail.
There's no. Yeah, because there's no direct. No, wait. I'd have to do the turnpike. Sorry, I was just thinking off the top of my head because I've done it once. I remember that. I think I had a delivery. I forget where it was, but it was down there in SoFlo. And I figured I-4 takes you north, so it's like, no, that ain't the way. So there is a turnpike there. So
Yeah, the turnpike and 95 is about the only way.
uh,
Unless you want to go on the west coast and go down
75. No, that's too far out of the way. Yeah.
Cross Alligator Alley. Yeah. That's
I've yet to visit that one service plaza. I know there's a service plaza there right south of Orlando on that turnpike. And I don't know what's there or not. I don't know. I know it's a place for us to park, but it's like, maybe one of these days I'll visit there just to visit there. I mean, it's the least. Yeah. I forget the name, but it's just south there about Orlando.
You got Canoe Creek, and then you got Fort Drum.
It's one south of the city.
Yeehaw Junction. That's not a truck stop.
I gotta go back and reread it.
But farther down in the South Florida, the service plazas, they have buffets and stuff, or they used to.
I don't think there's truck stops between Miami and Tampa on the 75. I don't think.
Back and making sure that I took your offer.
I think the closest one's Punta Gorda. No, wait. I think there's one for there's a Port Charlotte. Yeah.
Port Charlotte, I think.
And he's always trying to trap me in some sort of thing about racism. And I told him, I'm sick and tired. I told him one day, I'm sick and tired of you doing this. I am not a racist.
Yeah.
That's sad that people take things and twist it. That's part of the battle we had. That's part of the battle we're waging as live streamers. We're trying to tell the truth, and people don't want to see the truth.
Well, they want to trigger us. That's why. That's
right,
why
they
want to trigger us.
And
they try and they fail miserably, at least against me.
Yeah. Turkey Lake, that's up above Orlando.
Now let's talk about the one south. I think. Yeah, that would mean that I'd have to hop on the turnpike and pay some Easy Pass money just to get to a truck stop.
Yeah.
I'd have to pay money just to hop on the OBT and be like, because if I'm not mistaken, it's just south there. Yeah.
It's south of Turkey Lake.
Yeah.
What, 2 exits? Yeah, 2 exits. Yeah.
Never meant to open this page.
But
because the 75 is told when you go west of Miami already. I said it's easier Sun Pass, whatever you folks call it. Sun Pass, Easy Pass. I got Easy Pass. So it's Easy Pass, and I forget where it stops being a toll, whatever. It's like, you got to pay money to go between coasts.
Yeah.
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 I thought at least I was watching this one YouTube video where they wanted to build this big airport in the Everglades. I said, how do you put one in a marsh? It's a swamp down there. Yeah.
Well, the toll,
Getting to that.
tolls
Give me a
get a
minute.
lot
Gotta
more
get it
expensive
lined up
once
so I
you
can put the
pass,
period on.
once you pass Fort Pierce. Then they start adding up. They get into your pocket.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
that I've noticed.
Yeah, especially if you go all the way. It's
Should I
like
put through some
over $20
Oof.
after like?
each way.
I've never been to Miami. I don't know if Fort Lauderdale is its own city or
No,
its own town,
too
or is it
far.
a suburb of Miami that
No,
just happens to be overpopulated? Okay.
it's its own town.
Oh, okay. So it has its own
No,
identity. It's yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
No,
That
I love
but
and,
it's only a half an hour north of Miami. I figure is it a suburb? You're like, yeah.
yeah. Well, it becomes all town from Palm Beach South,
Hmm.
all the way down to
That's what he does. I'm not
Key
gonna say
Biscayne.
that's what he does.
It's all town.
Come on.
If I had the chance, I would have gone down there after they raided the real president, the actual president's crib, and I would have protested down there too, wherever they were at. And that was a hoopla for a minute.
Uh-huh.
And I'd be like, well, where's Biden's raid? You know, out there. Oh yeah, this past weekend, he returned from Ukraine to, I guess, rest and relaxation after the long trip.
Hopefully.
So he was wherever he was in Delaware. I try to avoid. The problem with Delaware is that there's a lot of red light cameras on one particular stretch. So Delaware's not known for its freight. I think there's a mint out there, or it's a
No,
credit
that's
card
not
safe
it.
haven, and they have a vault there, I guess, if you want to store precious metals. So there's not much in Delaware. You're not missing much in Delaware. It's like Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Turkey Lake. Okay.
Chaplain, I have you muted if you can hear me till you get done.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know whether or not he knows that he's not mute when he talks. Okay. Oh,
Go ahead.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think he can still hear me.
Yeah.
It's all Arubas.
Yeah. That's okay.
There's a lot of. Okay.
Okay. He's back.
Okay.
All right. Or not.
Yeah, Biden. I saw a thing about a CIA makeup artist, former CIA makeup artist that made
Okay.
masks for
Try it
these
again.
executives, and they made masks in the president's image, and you can't tell that it's not them.
Been a rough
So I wonder if
couple
that's what's going. It makes you wonder if that's what's going on. You know.
No, Sundays with Bernie or whatever that Tuesdays with Bernie. I forget the name of the movie.
This goes
Yeah,
to show
yeah,
you
yeah.
that even people like me can slip up.
Right. We just have
People
to.
like that just make me mad when they start calling me something I know I'm not. It's just
Right.
just getting tiring.
Now, you don't have to
Right.
explain yourself, Chaplain. People are just going to make stuff up about you no matter what. Trust me, I know this. And yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's just not built that way. And just never have been.
I'm not
We
I'm
live
not
in
here
a-
to change people's opinions about me. I mean, people are just going to hate me no matter what. There's no sense in trying to change people like that. People don't change. You get, and I'm just out here for not as an echo chamber to preach to the choir, but it's just people who are willing to listen at least. So there's some people who just don't want to listen to you, Chaplain. As jaded as that may sound, I mean, there's a lot more to it than just trying to please naysayers.
Yeah, we live in a demonic age, and they'll take the littlest thing and put it against you and try to bring you down. You just got to keep on going. Pray that the Lord
I
helps
didn't
you
mean to
through it.
bring that into the chat, but my wife brought it to my attention. I goes, "What in the world is he saying?"
Oh, I understand. That would throw you for a loop.
Yesterday, you know.
That would throw you
You
for
don't
a
you don't
loop.
have to explain yourself, Chaplain, as to like who, what, or whatever. For all we know, it's a troll, and it is a troll.
Yeah, they are trolls.
Yeah.
They are.
Well,
And
to know this
Satan.
guy, and I'm not going to say his name, but to know this guy, he's the kind of guy that looks for a loophole.
Yeah. They're out there. It's just knock on wood. I haven't run across it too much.
I do. They're called lurkers, so I know all
Right.
about them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy definitely is one.
Yeah.
I would say
And I
that.
had a couple on Jesus Live group that come in and try to tell me that I was pushing. What was it? I can't remember. I was pushing a fantasy that none of it was real, and how could I prove it and all this stuff.
Well, let me
Finally
give you
had
an
to-
example. Well, guys, let me give you an example. The Americans for America, or I guess as I like to call it, TPC 2.0 or AFC 2.0. It's well, I wouldn't say the rebirth, but it's like a reunion of the convoy last year. They went out of their way, out of pocket, and even though they did raise some money to go out of their way to shop at a Walmart to show everything that they did for transparency, just so the trolls wouldn't have ammunition. Although trolls are going to make up their own ammo anyway. And they even filmed themselves driving to Palestine, East Palestine, to Stein, themselves, and making the delivery. And yet, Italian knows who I'm talking about. I don't have to tell her who it is. Lens. So, what it is that no matter what you do, like for example, trying to please, I guess in your case, Chaplain, trying to appease whoever the hater's going to be. A lot of these trolls are just like, why don't you just hand out cash cards? Why don't you, who asked you to come to town? Why are you honking your horns into town? What are you people doing? It's like they'll find every which way to nitpick at you. And my thing is, well, how much have you donated to Ohio? Um, and again, it's just there's a lot more to it than just trying to please people who are just going to hate you no matter what. And so they're not my audience. Well, at least when I go live, they're they're over half my audience because I know they're spying on me. But I always ask these people. I said, well, how much have you donated to veterans? As a lot of people doubted the Branson get together last November. So you don't have to worry, Chaplain. It's like you didn't make that meme or whatever it was in a racial connotation. You know what I mean?
It was just a picture of a
Yeah.
African baboon.
Yeah.
He wasn't even. He was kind of a tan colored baboon. I never seen those before.
Tan with red tin. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought it was. There was nothing. There's nothing intentional there about that. So if he's taking it that way, he's taking it that way because he's got a problem with just the statement itself about the animal. It's really more than that, really.
What are you eating there, Cacti? Cacti says that she's eating. I wonder what she's eating. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Oops. She says she's eating.
I was typing an invite on Jesus Lives group for people to join us here.
I'm reminded of
Basically, I
what
thought
Christ
the same
said when these men were coming to stone this harlot in the middle of the town square for violating the Old Testament laws about her being a prostitute. So
Right.
he says, "He who's without sin cast the first stone." Nobody could do it.
That's right. No.
So before somebody casts stones at me, you better
Okay.
check your own backyard, pal.
Except for my windows.
That's true.
Truck's getting cold.
Yeah,
It
Dan and I
sounds
was
like
talking
you
about
got
that just
a
yesterday.
sensitivity
Just
problem to
yesterday.
me.
We were discussing that story. That's
I
probably one of the
truly did
greatest
not
things.
want to bring this into chat. That's not my intention.
Don't worry
I
about
like
it.
to talk about the Bible and positive stuff. This is negative stuff. I don't need that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things on this we come across that just like that, for instance, we don't mute our mic or whatever. It's a learning experience, and I think everybody knows that. Everybody knows.
I'm back.
When I see
I'm
this
back.
guy tomorrow, I'm simply going to tell him that Christians are not perfect.
No,
Neither are
no,
you.
not a one, not a one. And it's
I
that's
made a
clearly
mistake.
written.
I owned up to it. If you can't take that as truth, then that's your problem. I don't mean to offend anybody. It's not my purpose.
A lot of people live offended all their lives, and it's a sad life,
Nah, people are they act that way just to get pissed off for an excuse. That's how I see it.
Yes, they look for a reason to come after somebody who they know is like what I am. I'm a Christian, so I get the darts thrown at me all the time. I know that happens,
Right.
and all I can do to combat them is just throw the word at them. If that ain't enough, I don't know what else I can do.
No, there's nothing you can do. Just pray the Lord to give you strength.
Yes, that's one thing. I know it's something I should do anyway. But
I don't know if there's much you can do. I'm not saying that to be jaded. It's just these people don't want nothing from you.
No.
I mean, the way trust me, I as far as the case in point of what you're talking about, Chaplain, tonight, is that they're at least when I was subscribed to Tommy Temper's channel or whatever, he's just an invite for him. So that's just one example. And sure, some people in the chat know who I'm talking about there, but no, it's just unfortunately, I mean, as awful as it is, yeah, I'm kind of bringing it with me. These people want nothing but for a fight to just be like, to me, that's just a waste of time. I'd be like, what are you looking to get out of it? Just all this keyboard warrior stuff. It's
Well,
childish.
they try to make you as miserable as they are.
Well, they're again going back to what I just said. Yeah, that's part of it. But yeah, they're looking for that fight.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They want feedback. Definitely want feedback from it.
what people
most
think of
definitely.
me is one thing. What God thinks of me is everything.
Right.
If He thinks less of me because of what I did today, then I need to get down on my knees and ask for forgiveness, because if I've done something to offend somebody, definitely I don't want to do that. So God, please forgive me for what I've done here, even though it was inadvertent.
Hi, Wendy. Glad to have you here.
Is that Wendy B?
Yeah, Wendy B.
Wendy B.
Well, Wendy, you're right. You shouldn't worry about what people think. You should be more concerned about what God thinks.
Right.
As I should.
He's the only one that counts.
Hmm.
The only one that
Down
counts.
to it, that's the only thing that counts to me.
Yep. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We had to be right with him.
So close your eyes.
Every one of us probably said something or showed something that some people would take offense by.
People are just going to come. No. Here's the thing, Carrie, is that they'll come after you using this victim bullyhood. Is that
right.
they'll bully you by saying that they were offended, so they'll just come kicking and screaming at you.
Right.
So,
yeah.
That ain't gonna work. I know this guy too well. He might not even be mad at me, for all I know. You just didn't understand what I was trying to say.
People who are looking to trigger me or to just pick fights, I don't want to know them. I mean, I'm better off not wanting to know them, to be honest. Yeah, if Italian's still in the heezy or whatever, she knows what I'm talking about because I know she lurks these same channels as I do in the streets. So there's no need for me to tell her who I'm talking about because she knows what's up. Um, and what is that? I kind of feel sorry for him. I mean, that these people have nothing better else to do with their so-called lives but to pick fights. So I mean, it's
Well,
pretty
I know
pitiful.
that everybody feels about me in the chat to an extent, so
Mm,
I ain't gonna sit there and worry about people judging me because I don't think people should be judging each other anyway,
yeah,
according to what the word says. So
yeah.
I don't concern myself too much with that. But what I do concern myself with is how people try to mischaracterize Christians in the way they try to do it. They come after us and they attack us from every side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they find a loophole, they're going to go after it.
They're going to go after you. I'll be right
Well,
back, y'all. You
okay,
guys carry on.
sure.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure thing. One of the things I was talking about is that I got to give big credit, big ups, a big shout out because I was watching Soup Mama earlier. She finally made it back home after this extended weekend of hers, and yet people still talk trash about what she did in the group that she was with too. Because get this, chaplain, you'll get a real kicker out of this. They label, I guess, people like you and I as Christian nationalists. The word nationalist means KKK, like
That's
clan
right.
boy, or they use these trigger buzzwords to. I mean, it's like a bunch of hyenas in a den. Just picture that, and they all, with their high pitched voices. And oh, slowing it back on. Anywho, whoops, oops,
Always labeling us to be what we're not.
yeah, I gotcha. I take it there's a background, something going on. You must have the TV in the background there, Chaplain.
Yeah, I got to turn that down because she's
Yeah.
got that thing up loud.
Oh my
Again,
gosh. All right, I'll entertain the crowd. Welcome in, Wendy. A bit tardy. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to bust your chops on that, maybe. But yeah, I glad to see you here in the chat. I wasn't sure if you had a sunset or not because yeah, saw you in there. Not whoops. Am I portrait? Oh no, I'm not portrait. That's just the darkness. But all right, Chaplain is back. Okay, yeah.
shoot the
Let's see.
TV.
Yeah. Yes, Mona's back on. Yeah, I know she's on. I got the notifications too. All right. I think she was going over no working tomorrow. Just as long as it's not at a Perkins. I mean, I think you were working at some sort of establishment. Whoops. Oh, there goes my thingy.
Oh,
Sorry about that. I keep
I'm back.
knocking that
We
over.
went for a ride, man.
Yeah, wee. I knocked the thingy over. Oops, that's my little light.
Hopefully she'll get some takers and
Yeah.
get some drivers. There's a lot of, well, I don't know whether they're deadheaded or bobtail or whatever,
Yeah, you're gonna have to cat scale that water because I remember hauling water. That's 45 thou right there. Easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an easy load because it does move.
Yeah, because it is liquid. You're right.
Right.
So there's going to be surge.
Uh-huh. You have to be really careful. And I used to haul the fruit juices around here.
Oh.
Or have a Tampa Eli Witt.
Doing.
Back and forth from Tampa to Winter Haven.
Oh wait,
No,
she keeps
they-
going
they're
on
not
and
big.
off. So
They're
I don't
not
know if
big.
she's having trouble. Oh, sorry. I don't know if she's having trouble with or whatever. I can't believe people actually accuse a lady who's living off social insecurity, which is what I call it, as a grifter.
Socialized security.
No, I said social insecurity. Yes, socialized.
It is
Yes.
insecurity.
Yeah, well, it's by 2026, it's going to be insolvent. Trust me, I know this by the Is it the CBOE or the? No, I'm sorry. It's the Congressional Budget Office. I rate clock the numbers. Yeah, social. Yeah, between Ukraine and student loan tuition debt or whatever. It's like this. Yeah, the U.S. dollar's dead. But that's another time for another day. I know. I know I haven't been live in a while, and all of my lives I talk nothing but politics on my lives, but I haven't been on in a minute. But I didn't want to bring that on here just yet.
We need to talk about politics. That's what
Yeah.
that's what we're here for.
But no. But get this, Carrie, is that people accuse of a granny living off of social insecurity or socialized insecurity as a grifter. I said, you'll just make up anything that you need to just paint a narrative for someone.
Right.
Just be like, it doesn't matter. It's like, it's just.
It just goes back to the same old thing with the baboon. People are out to get each other.
Yeah.
And you wonder,
they'll just come up with an excuse. They're grasping for straws is what they're doing.
And if you wonder,
people have no lives.
If it goes along with all the
can't go to Vegas. Sorry.
The needles and stuff,
Go to the light U-Haul.
All the boosters. Because I have never seen somebody caring. I have never seen somebody care.
Ruled against that. They said that Congress is the one that appropriates money, and that President Biden did not have any business doing that.
He had no business going overseas to Kyiv. Be like, yeah, I guess East Palestine's like,
Yeah, and then he's trying to give away our
future.
The pandemic to the WHO.
Yeah, that's got to go through Congress yet. You ain't going to get away with that one either. That's not your way.
But I heard that he didn't have to go through Congress. That kind of confused me. I'm not. That's the thing. They push things through that most people in general don't know what's going on. I'm even confused about how they get by with some of the stuff. That's why we really, really have to get strong. Let our voices be heard. And say we're not going to take it no more. Get our churches back. That's a job in itself. I mean, we not only had the government, but we had the churches working against us.
Or the fact that you could just not rely on the government anymore, or I'm talking about the federal government, to just be self-resourceful as far as your own finances, so you're not living off the government dole, as it were. Whoops, I guess Chaplain stepped out for a minute. Oops.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay, all right.
That's easier said than done, because I thought I had it all set up. I didn't. I lost it all. So I'm on social insecurity.
I don't get that grifting part, because most of us, if not all of us, have been paying into that all our lives. So
right,
money we put in there, we get.
And we should get a lot more than what they're paying us. I don't even think they're paying us 0.1%.
Let me see the comments here.
Give us a little increase, and then take it away by raising everything else. Just nullify the whole increase.
Isn't that always the way it goes?
Yeah.
They raise, then they raise taxes.
Always. And if you're getting any kind of help, then they cut it too, because you're making more. It's ridiculous.
I didn't realize that East Palestine's only a few thousand people, but you also have to think of the communities around them now. So it covers not only Ohio but Western Pennsylvania too. So
and West Virginia
and West Virginia, yep.
And probably all the way to Indiana. No,
Indiana because of the Ohio River. So yeah, they're affected too.
Yeah, everybody's going to be affected. If they depend on the Ohio River. Everybody. And then you have the barge. The old barge system is still creeks and streams up into New York. You know, it flows that way. You've got the huge Lake Pymatuning there in Pennsylvania on the Ohio-Pennsylvania border. Really close there.
Right.
Have you ever been to Pymatuning Dam?
Where's that at?
It's at the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania.
I'm familiar with Route 7 there.
It's just below Erie, just below the Amish country. But they have a carp nursery, and the carp are in they have this like whirlpool there, and people feed bread to the carp.
Let me. Whoops! Whoa! Here we go.
They're so thick that the ducks can walk on their backs.
I'm just gonna whip out my Rand McNally Atlas. Hold on. I'll do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah.
That's an amazing place, but I imagine it's gonna kill all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember this? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's back in the day. I know how to use one of these. Yeah.
I had stacks of those at my house.
No, but this is actually a trucker one, so this isn't
a lot better,
motor carriers. So it's actually for us in particular, not like the rest of you civilians. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see Ohio. No, there's a river. Looking at the river. There is a river. Oh, it doesn't name the river.
Flows into Marietta,
Okay.
Ohio.
East. Looking at it east. And it's right there on the state border. Yeah, it's right there on the state border. Holy moly!
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been there before.
Good sized place.
Yeah, it's that river there, and it's gonna spill over.
Yeah, you can go to Pymatuning, and then you go north a little bit and visit the Amish country.
Calcutta.
I remember how the Ohio River flows down, because it doesn't flow down the one part of that border. I think it comes from Pennsylvania?
Yeah, it comes from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the Monongahela and the Allegheny River form the Ohio River.
Yeah, and then the Ohio River.
Yeah, that's where Pittsburgh.
You also have the one out of West Virginia, Kanawha River.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, right there.
Out of Charleston and Huntington.
East Palestine, right there. Wow.
Cuyahoga River goes in there too.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Just looking at all that.
It's all rivers, creeks, and streams up through there.
Sure is.
A lot.
Yeah, that is Amish country. It's Amish country. Whoops.
In my younger days, when I was like 16 or 17, I was going to do a canoe trip from that area south to the Ohio River. But I never did
make it. Wow.
Yeah. They flowed down from that area down into Canton to the 8 Park system where the Football Hall of Fame is.
Stepped out for a second. Whoops. We'll be back in just a second. Okay.
Okay.
You know, the Amish never. They're all totally organic. They grow their own crops.
Yeah.
There's a
motorized vehicles, so at least some of them.
There's a huge.
You wonder why they don't have any problems. You wonder why they don't have any problems.
Yeah, they take care of their own and keep their own people going. Pretty interesting. They're probably the oldest type colony like that there ever was. You know, the longest lasting. They used to have people like the Moravians and stuff in Ohio that didn't make it, but they were more socialist than the Amish is.
They knew how to be self-sufficient. I
Right.
mean, that's the thing. They knew how to do it all on their own with no power, no electricity, no nothing.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yep. Horse-drawn carriages.
Mhm.
See them all the time on these roads.
I always wonder where they bank because I saw them once park a horse at Walmart and they shop. I said, where do they keep their money underneath their mattresses? It's probably a lot safer than Chase
Great
Bank.
furniture makers.
And the majority
They sell
of them
their-
are millionaires.
They sell their stuff to the stores, so yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way
I
they
think
make
they
money.
do. I think they do bank.
It's probably, it can't be at like Bailout America or Wells Fargo. It can't be either one of those two or like any major banks.
Right.
Probably have their own credit union.
More than likely have their own banking system.
Yeah, thank God. I almost opened a checking
Because
account
they
there.
do
Well,
it. They do invest in everything.
they invest in themselves. Oops.
It's they're pretty secretive about how they run things.
You mean like the Mormons? Oh, going to sleep, night out. Bye, Wendy. Oh, real
Good night,
maps.
Wendy.
Yeah, Wendy's going to bed.
Have a good night, Wendy.
I thought that's what happened with the Mormon church. I was at that one Mormon church that was caught for embezzlement or something like that. I said, they're a wealthy bunch. I said, you never
Right.
see them. You never see them poor or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, there's no. I mean, they're all palaces. I said, that's not a church. That's a Shangri-La shrine. You know, it's just if you ever see them all, it's like they like to show off the wealth or whatever. It's like, oof.
Yeah, and you can't go in most of their places.
No. I remember once for social studies, we had to do a project of where we had to interview a different religion, and I guess maybe the Latter-day Saints wouldn't let me in their joint.
No.
No.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this is kind of a culture shock. I remember I was watching what's that? It was the Utah Utes versus the Florida Gators. And it's weird seeing a bunch of Mormons hang out in Florida. I'd be like, I wonder what they do for fun. And then I was watching this one YouTube video. I think they just hung out in the Starbucks lobby. Or just like that was like their spring break in Florida. Yeah. Just storming Mormons. Yeah. So I guess that's how they vacay in one of the best places ever vacation in America. I could say that about Hawaii or California, but they're West Coast. So yeah. That's how they did it, because sometimes these college football teams, they have like their fans follow them. So
Mhm.
you'll see the visiting team have like their fans going to like going to enemy territory. I guess I know it's probably that way because which bowl was it? No, UCF. I remember played Florida. It was like a couple years ago, a couple bowls back or something like that. I don't know if they actually played at a Camping World. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'd be like, that's cool.
Yeah, they have a few games there, but they have their own big arena now.
Yeah.
UCF.
I don't know who plays at Camping World though. I said I don't know what. I mean, is that for concerts? I don't know if an actual team like plays there, unless it's just a venue.
Yeah, they have the New Year's Bowl game there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of college football gets played there.
Yeah, it was back in was it 2017 or 18? It was the Florida Hurricane, excuse me. Miami Hurricanes and the Gators, so that was a good game. Yeah.
Yep. Pro Bowl.
Yeah, basically. It's weird because both those teams don't play in the same conference. They play in different conferences, so to see them play each other is pretty cool. So,
Yeah, they had a Capital One Bowl.
yeah.
I used to live, probably a little over a mile away from me. You hear all the activity. Every time, monster trucks, concerts, you name it, you could hear it.
If I was out there, yeah. They actually do have their own football team. It's the XFL Guardians. They they came from New York City because they played there. So I think what it is about this different football league is they wanted to be in cities where no football teams were. So they have one in Orlando, and they're called the Guardians.
I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, yeah, it was a rebirth of the XFL. They tried it 3 years ago, and then Kung Flu hit, and then now they started it up again. So it was pretty cool. So, but they're 0-2, so I think they're like the worst team in the league, unfortunately. So I don't know if you really want to watch them.
Maybe that's why I never heard of them.
Yeah. If you want to see some really bottom-feeding football, then yeah. There you go.
Fry's in the house. Hi, Fry.
Maybe Fry might want to come on if he wants to check in. Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl, I thought was Hawaii, but maybe, was it? No, they had it in Vegas. Pro Bowl, they played it in Vegas. Yeah.
They move it. They move it. They have had the Pro Bowl in Orlando, but. Uh-oh. Was that Twitch or? It gave me an error, but I think it tried to hit Twitch twice. But I'm still learning this thing.
I got you. Maybe Chaplin's having dinner. That's why he put himself on mute.
Oh, yeah.
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 Cool beans.
But hopefully some of my Jesus Live group is coming in. I was supposed to go on there at 8, but I put a message up there. I was combining it.
Oh.
Hey, Fry.
Fry TV.
Yeah, there's something I'm forgetting, but must not be important.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, we have to do a lot of things. A lot of things make people aware and turn their minds around if it's even possible. Because it's just like this J6 things. Even if they come out with the tape and Tucker comes out with proof that beyond a doubt, half of the people won't believe it. They'll believe what they already know. So
Nah, because they watch cable media funded by pharma with Moderna, so I don't trust it.
No.
Yeah.
No, people's going to believe what they want. That's up to us.
Yeah.
Up to us to try to change that.
Yeah.
It's scary, the things that are going on. And boy.
No, I'm fine, Cactus. She says I look uncomfortable. I'm fine. It's just, I think it's the way that I'm sitting that makes her seem like I'm just uncomfortable, whatever. It's just, yeah.
Like you're straight up?
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm standing up or something. Hopefully she had a good dinner. She wants to tell us what she had, so if she doesn't, that's okay. As long as Chaplin had dinner, might as well compare dinners, right?
Right.
Chicken cacciatore and rice.
Ooh. It was at the Uncle Ben's rice. Uncle Ben.
I'm not sure what kind of rice was that.
I didn't realize that Goya makes rice. I said Goya. I thought they were canned beans.
Yeah, no, they make
Goya does everything.
They have the Spanish rice.
Just plain white rice.
White rice,
Okay.
Only a quarter cup. A quarter cup.
Not even that much.
Very little.
Because the carbs or the pesticides that might be in it? That's right. I tried calling up Goya because the CEO there is actually he's actually an American First Hispanic CEO, so he's not woke, but he's very outspoken. He's been on Fixed News before, but I tried calling him to see if I could talk to him or whatever. So I buy his product simply because he's an American First CEO, and I don't consume this anymore. But when I used to actually buy extra virgin olive oil, I'd only buy his brand because his brand actually won Olive Oil of the Year back in 2018. So because it's an actual bootleg industry, olive oil. I don't consume any oils, but well, not anymore at least. Is that stuff that you see sitting on the store shelves for weeks on end? That stuff's not legit. It's like filler. It's artificial. Fry would know this if Fry TV's on there. You should know that olive oil, by the time you open it, it's rancid. So it's not even legit.
You heard from the cold.
Um, but I will do Goya brand. But and here's why, because as far as like organic or whatever, you don't see the USDA label on it because it's unregulated. So you could just pretty much stuff anything in a bowl and just slap the label and call it olive oil. So I don't trust it. Yeah.
No contact with the kids.
I like
It's
to
all
get
bad. Yeah, it is.
Goya black beans and yellow rice.
Girlfriend.
Cook it up with onions. Boy, oh
No.
boy, that's good eating. Black beans and yellow rice.
You know how the media demonized ivermectin because it was a horse
Can you believe
deworm or whatever? It's from
Right.
the same assembly line as the human form. But I remember, because I researched this. This is back in the days of the Civil War. Is that when the North invaded the South and started, just started scavenging all of the abandoned forts in the South? I have to research this. They came across black-eyed peas, and they'd say, "Well, this is just horse feed." Well, don't humans eat black-eyed peas? So does that make me a horse if I eat it? Does that make me a horse if
Right.
I drink water? Yeah. So
Any kind of beans.
I gotta shut up.
Right. It's crazy some of the references they make and try to. Yeah, I can't say it enough. They made a bad word out of mega, and what's wrong with saying "Make America great again"? That's got to be the best statement ever. We should always try to make America great. Always. It just beyond me how they can take something good and make it bad, which is happening all the time.
I had somebody say that at the bowling alley to me, and they said, "This "Make America Great" stuff's a bunch of crap." I says, "Well, what's crappy about it?
Right.
I mean, make America great is something you would want to do. I mean, but you want to be great at something yourself?
Right. Make it
Don't
like
you
it's
try to
something wrong.
strive for things like that?" And they walked away from me and just shook their head like, "Oh man, can't talk to that guy." Okay.
There's a lot of things that they just like don't say you're conservative.
Yeah. See this already. See, I remember some places because I got this at Tractor Supply store already. And let's see if I can straighten that up. What is that? Oh, there's even flavored.
Apple
Cool.
flavor.
Yeah. How about that, huh?
Ooh, horses like apples too.
I love apples. I almost fed some to a cow. Yeah.
It goes back to what we was talking about a little bit ago.
Yeah. Ivermectin. I remember. I forget. Was it some farm feed stores or whatever? They said, "Well, you need proof of ownership of a horse." I said,
Right.
"Why not just take a selfie with a horse then?" So
Yeah.
Tractor Supply actually did have a sign. They said, "Don't do this for Kung Flu or whatever." I said, "I'll take whatever I want." That's right, Mr. Ed.
You don't have to know what my purpose says. If I want
Make
to
sure
buy
you
ivermectin, I'm gonna buy it.
make sure you use it on animals only.
Yeah. Animals, schmanimals. I should try
Animals
this
only.
sometime. Yeah. They're vets.
Hey, Carrie, have you been bombarded by medical companies that want to get you into Part C and D of Medicare?
Oh yeah.
Get those all the time. I had one yesterday say, "Do you have Medicare or any other insurance?" And I says, "Ma'am, that kind of information I do not divulge over the phone." And I find it offensive that you even call me about that.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry. Have a good day. I just enjoyed
I
doing
always tell them I already have it. The company I'm with, when I moved out of the county, and they canceled my my extra plan, and another company sent me a prescription card. So I don't want this company. So go figure, right? The government's running it all. That's the whole problem. They're running the whole kit caboodle, Medicare Advantage and Medicare. And you have to check with Medicare before you can change.
Well, you even asked my doctor about hydroxychloroquine. I said, what is the big deal about that? If it's going to help somebody to combat this virus, why not let them take it?
Japan uses it. Yeah.
Yeah, that medicine was around when I was born.
Right.
Drugs.
I'll tell my age there. It's 1955.
It doesn't take 75 years to prove that it's good for you, you know? Not like Moderna.
Yeah, it's the things that went on with that was so secretive and everything. You don't even know what was in it. There's no information. So how can you know what's going on with it?
Really shouldn't have milk, little one.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
And I swear people are going nuts from it. That's my take.
I said something earlier about taking vitamin D3, and my doctor said, "You're taking it?" I said, "Yes, sir. Yes, I am."
Wait, he asked you like you're taking it? Like he was surprised? Uh-oh.
Yeah, he was kind of surprised. What made you do that? I said, "So."
Oh my God, that doctor must have gone to a woke school then, unfortunately. Oh, sorry.
No,
I mean, I don't mean to judge a doctor like that, but
D3. Yeah, that's
Kate,
great.
yeah.
I wish all my patients would do that. And I go, "Oh, okay." D3, D plus, D3 plus.
Right.
Oh,
We both take that.
It's all bad. Okay, just read the comments.
It's because up here we don't get much sun, so we got to take a supplement. And then when it gets.
And if you're going to do D3, you got to do K2 as well. You got to couple it with K2. It's like anyone with a potassium or magnesium deficiency, you got to take them both together. So at least that's what I do. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So do we.
Yeah. To avoid. Yeah.
That's what I do when Red Cactus comes on. I take all my vitamins after I've ate my breakfast, and I take my vitamins.
Sure.
And take my blood pressure and stuff when the blood pressure medicines and stuff when the Ruby's on.
if you're in Michigan, there, Chaplain, wasn't it Gretchen, that witch, who what's that? I guess rated doctors for prescribing vitamin D or C. I thought she rated the doctor's offices for that vitamin D. Maybe that was a stigma behind it. Yeah, I'm like, oh, no wonder she created the demonization of it.
What she was doing. What's your purpose there, Gretchen?
Yeah, she's terrible. She ordered the police brutality on the truckers, at least on this side of, I think it was Detroit from Windsor. Yep. So she actually gave the order.
Bridge too.
Yeah.
Those two areas she hit.
I really was looking forward to Tudor Dixon. Boy, she was of course, she didn't get much help. She was in it on her own. I mean, it was just like Carrie Lake, unfortunately. These young, rising women, they want to talk about women empowerment or whatever. It's just like, it's almost like that campaign was left for dead. It'd just be like,
The Republican Party only got her $6 million to run her campaign. When Gretchen Whitmer had a war chest of over $60 million.
Yeah.
So how are you going to beat that?
It took me off guard to see that the Michigan GOP held their convention the day after election day. I said that is so stupid. I said you would do it after the fact. It's like, why? So you could run an autopsy as to what happened the day before or whatever. I'm like, oh my God. But luckily though, for your state, I think what's his name, John James. Luckily he got in Congress. So hopefully he does something. Because I know he tried running for both. Well, he tried running for Senate twice, lost twice, well, supposedly. But I think he got in Congress as a consolation prize, which is nice to see. So, yeah.
Well, they got Christina Caramano, who was running for the Secretary of State. She is now the Republican Party chairperson.
Oh, was she the one with Giuliani, the one that SNL made fun of?
I'm not sure.
It's like,
she's a woman of color, so.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, because SNL did the skit on when they did Stop the Steal, and then they had the one in Michigan and about that blonde chick who had the knotted up hair, and the name sounded very familiar.
Yeah, she was running for Secretary of State, and she lost, of course, to the political machine here that did the mail-in ballots.
Ugh, it's terrible. Was she the one? She wasn't the one with the cowboy hat during Stop the Steal. There was someone with the cowboy hat, and they made her take it off when she was.
I have no idea who that is.
Okay. Yeah. No, she was good. She was a real firecracker. I got to get these people's names just so I know who they are. Yeah.
There's too many. There's too many to remember every one of them.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. Hey, Ray Cactus, I tried to eat good too, but then I found out I didn't have enough vitamin D, so I went on the D3 too, because some of this we can't eat enough of some of the stuff to supplement everything.
Yeah.
It's it's a touch and go thing. You know, you have to go according to what you find out you're deficient in.
You have to figure out, you have to figure out what your body needs first most. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And go from there.
If it hadn't shown in the blood test, I'd have never known I was D deficient, because I get plenty of sun here in Florida and everything. That's basically where you get it, that and milk.
Yeah.
And
remember when I got a blood test back that said I was anemic? Remember that blood test I took that said I was anemic?
Yeah, I can't do milk because of lactose intolerance, unfortunately.
I am too. That's
insufficient.
I don't drink milk. I'll drink it, but it tears me up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So that confuses.
Especially, was it skim milk? Skim milk, I think, is the one that really triggers me. Yeah, that's the one that that hits me. Ooh. Yeah, that's the laxative.
Yeah.
Know.
That's no milk.
Basically,
no milk.
What's weird is that at Walmart once I found an almond-based yogurt or whatever. Not too much of a market out for that, but Political encyclopedia. Yeah, I try.
The problem is in our area, Red, we don't get a whole lot of sun up here. We just had a little bit of it today, and it's been about 4 or 5 days from that time we had any sun.
Yep.
Now they're talking about a winter storm for this weekend.
Winter storms always happen on the western part of the state, correct? Just simply because they get all that lake effect snow from.
They get it worse.
Yeah.
That and Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo is always buried every winter.
Yeah. It's the snowiest city in the country. Yeah.
you can go up there on days, drive up into northern Pennsylvania and see the line where the snow is constantly falling
Mm.
off of the lake.
Buffalo, they have an annual snowfall.
Yeah, I got up to Interstate 80 coming out of Pittsburgh, was taking my family on a ride. We got
Sure.
up near 80 and it was like a blanket.
Ah, jeez.
Big snowstorms. So I turned around and went back.
Mm.
I'm not going into that. Pure
Yeah.
blizzard.
I think about people like Gary and Bobby and
Oh
Bernie,
my.
and people like that that's out there driving in that mess.
Uh-huh.
They don't
Day
pay
after
those
day
guys enough
after
money.
day. That's for sure.
Mm.
It's scary. Always had to be on your toes.
Yeah.
I
You mean to
imagine they're
tell
all
me you've
getting
been hanging out in your shorts here, Red? Says you got a tan.
That was rain the past few days in the AZ. Huh.
Yeah, they're gonna get them a lot. Well, my brother lives in Palm Desert, California, and he said it's been raining for about 4 or 5 days. It finally stopped. Los Angeles is the one that got hit the hardest.
Yeah, it never rains in Southern California, as the song says.
Mhm.
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
Yeah, I can't go back there. I'm not allowed back. Well, we truckers aren't allowed out there, at least us owner ops. So,
It's so crazy.
yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah,
Sure, I'm gonna miss it out there. Yeah. Mm.
their own country.
Yeah. See, that's what Texas needs to be. We need to be our own country, but I don't know why Texas is so weak. It's not so much of a red state, by the way, guys, because they only voted for the incumbent back in 2020 by 6%. So
Mhm.
that's alarming. You might think 200,000, I guess, vote difference might mean a lot or whatever. I said not in Texas standards. That's mid single digits. Florida got it right. They were one of the very first to close their polls and count everything all up. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, the third largest state in the entire, well, right behind Texas, and they could count their votes in a matter of hours, whereas Arizona needs a week. So now election day is like election month.
I tell you what, Florida has a very good election system.
Yeah.
It's run very well, and
Well, you better after 2000. I mean, that was a lesson learned.
yeah,
Yeah.
hanging chads.
That was a real black eye in the state back then. Oof.
But there's no electronics allowed to be hooked up to anything
Yeah.
until the only time they hook up to electronics is when they send the machines count in.
Yeah.
That's the only time it's hooked up.
Mm.
And you had to go to the security, security system first before you send it.
Yeah.
Lord,
I
it was
actually
very
watched
good.
that. I watched that movie with Kevin Spacey, the child predator. It was called Recount, and it was with Dennis Leary, and it basically kind of mimicked it was a reenactment of the 2000 election, how they disputed and everything. I said it always came back to Coward Broward County. I'd be like, what a trouble county.
Hmm.
It still is to this day, is it not, with Schultz or whatever faces?
Yeah, it's still pretty bad.
Yeah, she's still there. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's the worst part about it.
Mm.
That's the county where they found 70,000 boxed up boats in the basement of a school.
Yeah, isn't it something that how in 2016 that the election was rigged and Hillary really screamed bloody murder about it, that it was rigged by Russia and hacked and all that.
What do you want for
And then in 2020, nothing happened.
what do you
You
want
know, I always tell people this. I always say, well, she might have gotten the popular vote, but do you want New York and LA to decide every election?
Right. That if we didn't have the electoral college, that's the way it would be. Just a few
Yeah.
states would win the elections.
Well, no, a couple cities, and maybe
Yeah,
Chirac,
right.
but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's why we have the electoral college to give smaller populated areas more of a chance. You know.
Because if it's winner take all, I mean, Trump did win more states and more counties
Right.
than Hillary, but you know, all she needs to do is campaign in major cities, and then
But we're not a democracy. It's not winner take all. We're a republic, and we vote for our representatives, and they represent us.
mhm.
I
That's the
keep
big
skipping that
difference.
one all the time.
It,
There they
yeah,
talk
just
about
like
democracy on TV. I want to go through that TV and grab them by the lapels. No, it's a republic. Get it? A republic.
the republic, no democracy. Rome was a democracy. Winner take all. Vote for it. Throw the Christians to the lions.
I thought democracy meant mob rule.
It is. It's
It
mob
does.
rule.
Yeah.
It does.
And they wanted to throw the Christians to the lions, and that it was their democracy. That's what they did.
Mm.
The ruling class that's the way they wanted it,
Mm.
and that was their downfall. We know that the rainbow killed Greece, and we know that the rainbow killed Rome. And we know the rainbow killed France. And what are we doing now?
Hmm.
And plus, it's against God's law. And they're trying to get their people in strategic positions so they can bring other people that not necessarily need voted in, but they can bring them in to run things
Oh, you got
and make it even stronger.
something wrong.
And that's what we have to fight against it.
Mm.
Or we'll have drag queens teaching in our regular school.
Did you ever tell me?
That's already that way now.
Yeah, it's already there. It if they thought they could get away with it, they would do it. They're putting them in our libraries, and that's bad enough. Bad enough.
Right.
But all we can do is pray to God and take His direction, and go out and tell everybody.
Mm.
Spread the message.
Right.
Let it be told.
Mm.
Otherwise, we are all doomed, especially our kids, grandkids, and great grandkids. Cut my camera.
Yeah, generations.
I gotta take care of my nose.
Oop.
There.
Does that leave me? I'm just jotting notes.
I'm not.
So
I'm
just
not
like
leaving. I'm
No.
here.
Oh, gotcha. TBS recurring sheet.
My sinuses drive me haywire.
Mm. I think I remember that when I went to Alabama, where the pollen is like, it's so thick. And I forget what part of the year that is, but it's well, I'll know about it, but it basically blankets you. It's just basically a dust, the pollen out there. They're in Georgia. Boy, down there in SEC country. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, Georgia. You go through Georgia through all those pine.
Yeah.
Not around this time of the year. Usually it's within the next month or so.
Mm.
You go through Georgia and you see the trucks, seeing a whirlwind behind them, all that pollen, like big old clouds. Because they grow long pollen tips on the ends of the scrub pines.
Mm-hmm.
They They're huge, and they hold a lot of pollen. Sometimes you can't breathe.
Yeah, I remember. It's just like, yeah, I know it's gonna be springtime soon. Yeah, that stuff's gonna sprout up.
Hmm.
All that moisture from all the snow, well, snow. Because April showers bring May flowers, something like that. I forget. All that stuff's just gonna sprout
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. We should be starting to get our rain soon,
Mm.
and we had the rainy season. If not, it's summer wood fires.
Mm.
Good evening, Carol. Glad to have you with us.
Oh, Carol.
Can't roll.
Anybody out there who wants to join, come on in. We're just talking about everything general, nothing particular. Little bit everything. Right now it's pollen. Yeah, George.
Talk about
George.
ragweed, grass. Yeah.
And then we have here in Florida, we have love bug season.
I've seen those, but I wasn't in Florida though. I was in Louisiana.
Oh, really? They're up there now?
They are.
Oh, no.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
And they cover your windshield where you can't see. But years ago, back in the 60s, it wasn't love bugs, but yeah, but love bugs are terrible. They're like they make like a big cloud.
Hmm.
Like you hear some of the locust swarms. The love bugs are probably worse because they cover your windshield and they are
You know what
hard
the
to get off.
don't you?
And they
Hmm.
bake in the sun and they're almost impossible to get off. They eat right into your paint. Years ago,
Or it
back,
is what's called
back
love
in the
bugs.
60s, we had mole crickets
Love bugs.
down in South Florida.
They are
They would cover like a foot high
love
on
bugs.
the pavement.
Jeez.
The,
What are love?
the fuel stop and
Yeah,
everything, they had to shovel them off, get
Yeah.
a big plow, push them off, so because
They
the
will
trucks
coat-
crush them
If
all
you're
over the
driving
place.
down the road, they'll mess your car up. I mean, yeah,
They fly interjoined together, the male and the female,
that's right.
more like butt to butt, might as well say.
Yeah, I did a live stream there when I was in my favorite part of Louisiana. Almost favorite part of the country, but well, outside of Texas, of course. But no, I actually filmed them just like hooked up or whatever. Boy, the bugs were all over that day. Woo. Boy, down there in the bayou, Jason wouldn't know this. Down there in crawfish capital, it's crawfish, not crayfish, by the way. And you could easily remember that because you can't spell Nolans without a W. I don't know why people say crayfish. There's nothing cray. It's
Cray
crawfish.
Daddy. Yeah,
Probably.
Aruba will probably be the first one to contact the love bugs. Let everybody see what they are. But
I thought they were palmetto. Yeah.
No, palmetto are like a overgrown roach. They're flies.
Similar to a June bug up here.
They live in palmetto bushes. And in people's bathrooms.
Jeez.
But they're probably an inch long, and they fly, and they're terrifying. But they're easy to kill. That's the good thing. Most insecticides will get them. They're not as bad as the regular German roaches.
Those are worse.
Yeah, they're.
Are those like beetles? I've seen the beetles.
They're not beetles. No, they're they're hard to describe. They can fly, but they don't normally do that.
That's like ducks. I've seen ducks always cross. I said, "You guys have wings."
Yeah, their body weight's too heavy.
I don't know whether or not duck eggs are edible. If chicken eggs are at a shortage, I wonder if I could raise a duck or something and start eating those eggs.
Aruba says she sets them free. You talking about the palmetto bugs?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Mm.
They have their purpose. I don't know. Not much.
Mm.
But, the roaches are just plain scavengers.
Roaches, I think they remind me of beetles. Mm.
Yeah.
They ain't any bugs.
They just multiply.
All right, so Cacti gave me permission that it's okay. Maybe I raise my own duck or something. Then I just grow duck eggs. I don't think. Now I've done quail eggs, which are good for allergies. Quail eggs.
I haven't heard that. What about guinea eggs?
Which eggs?
Guinea
I
hens, they lay eggs. I know a lot of people raise guineas. Volkswagen Beetles. Yeah, they're pretty cool too. I like a Beetles too.
Oops.
I like them too.
Metal.
Turkey eggs. Huh. I never thought about it. Wow.
I know duck
Turkey
eggs
eggs.
are rich. You make a real good omelet out of them.
Hey, Jason's back.
My
Beetles.
grandmother got an ostrich egg and she kept it. That doggone thing spoiled.
Oh,
Some of them got broken. Oh my goodness.
The smell?
We like never got the smell out.
oh my God.
Yes, they are, Red. I agree with you.
How do you tell that the egg is spoiled then?
You don't.
Oh, jeez.
But she had it for years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'll never forget that one. There's a lot of interesting things in nature that we just overlook, and
Turkey
the wonders
eggs.
of God. A lot of things. We just don't even think about it. Just pass it off.
Ostrich eggs can feed people for a week. Biggest egg I know.
Say that again.
Ostrich eggs are enough to feed a family for a week.
Yeah, they're huge. They are huge. Well, there's people down here that get the gator eggs and eat them.
Yeah.
I've never had it.
I'll pass on that one.
But
Scrambled
it's
gator eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. They hunt for the nest. They're big nests. They're birds or whatever they are. They set up on the bank and they lay the eggs in the weeds. A lot of eggs. But you don't want them mature, that's for sure. Debbie's going to get chickens, huh?
Read the
That's
chat.
cool.
Cool.
That's definitely an exciting thing.
Yeah. It's exquisite.
Exquisite.
Yeah, exceptional.
Batman.
I don't know whether or not I could try this for a week on just going on an egg diet of where the only thing I eat are eggs.
Or
I should try that sometime.
yeah, but our eggs are beneficial, but don't they have a lot of cholesterol?
Cholesterol is not it's not as bad as I know there's that stereotype of cholesterol inside the eggs, but cholesterol is what the hell is that? Oh, I have to research cholesterol. I think that might only be with the egg yolk part, but the egg white counteracts that. Oops. Shy guys, see this truck is ready to leave.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
gotta make
I
sure this
just
truck doesn't hit me on the way out.
heard,
I'm watching
heard a
this truck. Sorry.
Heard a doctor that said it would cause hardening of the arteries, which is cholesterol.
I thought that was from salt too. I thought salt
Red,
was
you are spot on correct about what you just said. Yes, they are.
Yeah. And my aunt, she used to say,
Perfectly balanced. Yes, they are.
yeah.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
The
But my
egg
aunt
white I
used to
think
say,
counteracts the
I
yolk.
took all the cholesterol out of it.
If you eat more than 2 eggs, maybe you might be getting into the danger area, but
I thought it was 6. I thought the number was 6, Chapman. If you eat
yeah, it's
6,
up higher
yeah.
than 3.
Ah,
Oh,
Because
well,
I know you guys have heard the 3-egg omelet, which is my favorite.
that's what I use.
I usually go 4. Yeah, I went 4 once. I cheated. I did a 4-egg omelet.
I have made up to 6, but split it up.
Wow.
Velvet over by you.
In the chat. Yes, they are, and they're trying hard to mess up the chickens and the eggs. For what reason? I can't imagine.
Disrupt food
Hi,
chain.
Jason. You have a good night.
Oh, is Jason leaving? Oh man.
Yeah,
I was hoping he'd get on here.
I did too.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
Go to work tomorrow too. That's part of it.
Yeah,
Good night, Jason.
it is getting on 9:00. I don't know
Yeah.
whether I get the national anthem up here. Yeah. Yeah. Wants to be contrary.
Yep. I understand, Jason. I've been there and done that.
I get up early. Yeah. Going to bed.
Yep. You going to bed?
Yeah, I guess so.
I can't.
He's got a day job, so he's got to get the
My
bed
music.
early.
Oh, 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Can everybody talk over this, or
Are we watching or you re-streaming?
Are you putting the video up?
yeah, just a sec.
Good night, Carol.
And Carol leaving too? Oh. Yeah, I might go in a couple minutes too for
Is it showing?
And the reception. Boy, is it choppy. Oh, it's coming in robot-y.
When it's going, I can't.
See you there. Oh.
Then the fun is the highest and will be.
I guess I have to leave it on that
And at
page.
his feet will
I'll see about catching it on another line. Whoops. Guess he kicked himself out. But in the meanwhile, it was a pleasure speaking to you, Chaplain. I don't take the whole defensive thing about that meme thing personally. It's just I think these people just want to see your pressure point. So I don't let it get to me.
Well, it's just a picture of a baboon. It wasn't really a meme or anything. It just I just put on there the caption, "A baboon." I didn't know what kind it was, but it was a beautiful picture of him.
People look for any excuse to be offended by anything. That's the sad part.
I know.
Yeah. All right, I got a minute left. I want to see if I catch it on a live or whatever, because it's that his restream is coming up really choppy or robot-y. So, all right. So I will catch you on the commute tomorrow. Not my commute, but Ruby's commute tomorrow, as we all begin our mornings with.
Yeah, I just hope I get up in time.
Yeah, you too. All right. Good night, Carrie, wherever you are. Thanks for being host tonight. So, all right, time to catch
See
that.
if he comes back on, but I don't know if he will or not. He basically kicked himself right back out of the picture. I'm going to sit here for a minute, just wait till he comes back, because I don't like to leave and think that everybody had abandoned him, because that's not the case.
It kicked me out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It booted me. Everybody bailed up or is bailing.
Well,
Oh,
he had
sorry about that.
to go to bed, I think.
Yeah,
U-Haul.
yeah, I know. Let me
Okay,
post the
Red.
link again.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get out too. So
Yeah,
good night, everyone.
I think so too. We've had a good stream. I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thanks everybody for showing up. Everybody have a blessed night. Why don't you lead us out in prayer, Chaplain, if you would?
Father, we went through a lot of discussion tonight, and we thank you, dear Lord, for the ability for us to be able to communicate and to share our points of view with one another without feeling like we've attacked each other. So we are in the business of loving one another, or should be. So help us to do that. Help us to be more like you in every aspect of our lives. And thank you, dear Lord, for people like Carrie and all those that are on the chat tonight, the Ruba Digro and Red Cactus and Italian Princess and U-Haul, of course, and everybody else, I think, and Jason. Just thank you, dear Lord, for all of them that came on here with us tonight and just made it a pleasant evening. So thank you, dear Lord. As we go in our separate ways, let us remember you are in charge. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Yep. It was a real pleasure.
Yep.
Met with
Same here.
everybody. Just general get together.
We'll do it again.
Okay. Well, good night, everybody.
Good night.
We'll see you next time.
All right.
and catch a river first thing in the morning and keep on going.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Love everybody.